Let's give them something to talk about. Let's talk about the combine. You thought I was going to say, let's talk about love. No, we're going to talk about the NFL combines. We're going to talk about J.J. McCarthy. We're going to talk about Michael Penix. We're going to talk about the big Joe, the big arm, Joe Milton. What a throw by Big Joe. You gotta give Milton a little bit of credit. He's taken some crap, and you got some other people out there that were like, well, he's going to be nothing. He's nothing. And you got people that were misquoting me on Joe Milton. But Joe Milton's got a cannon. Joe Milton's got a bazooka for an arm. He effortlessly threw that ball 70 yards. I mean, effortlessly is not even the word for it. But is that going to make him the high quality draft pick for the Giants? Is that going to rocket him into the first round? Is that going to make him the father for all Giant fans like J.J. McCarthy's slowly becoming? We're going to talk about J.J. McCarthy because I don't get it. I don't get why certain Giant fans are trying to convince themselves on J.J. McCarthy. If you have to convince yourself on a quarterback, you have Daniel Jones. And that's the thing. You got Michael Penix looked the part of a quarterback. He looked the part of a big-time prospect. If I had to pick one, Art Stable is starting to start. Hold on, let me go here. Some of these things here. OGR says there's world 5 quarterbacks coming off the board before the Giants pick. I don't think 5 quarterbacks coming off the board. That would make no sense. But that's one of the big old OGR. Michael Lee says, Tim, you may have seen the light, but has Joe? No, Joe has not seen the light. We love Joe. Actually, I'm starting to question Joe. I really am starting to question Joe. I'm starting to question his thought process. And I didn't want to get into this so quickly, but it's like Glowinski. Everyone's sitting there going, Glowinski. What, we got rid of him. What a great move. Okay, the great move was not to sign him 3 years ago. That was the best move. Why? Because he was pedestrian before he went to Indianapolis, and the majority of the NFL understood that more than likely, we even never understood on this channel because we talked about it the day they signed him. He was a systems guy, a scheme guy in Indianapolis. It was like Nate Solder all over again, but at a lesser dollar figure. But Joe's creating cap space. But yes, by getting rid of his own mistakes. I've said it before. Don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. But has Joe?
Do you see the light? What light? Have you seen the light?
Yes! Jesus H. Goddamn Christ! I have seen the light!
Has Joe seen the light? I don't know. We got a big old super chat for the pimp named Sleepback Tim. Long time no see. I was going to actually say that because I missed the pimp named Slickback. I just like saying the name. I'm sorry I don't see the McCarthy thing. I'm sorry. And what scares me is we're picking 6 on the 5th year anniversary of Daniel Jones. What's up, Duncan? That scares me too. And what scares me is, like I said, so many people are trying to convince themselves on J.J. McCarthy. I see things on Twitter. Well, look, he has the arm. Yeah, okay. And I've said it before. I wanted to see some velocity. I wanted to see some down, pushing the ball downfield a little bit. Did he do it with the effortlessness of Penix or Milton or hell, even that Leary kid? No, he didn't. But having a good combine is not going to convince me that he could be taken at 6. Taking McCarthy at 6 would be desperation. That's like taking Joe Milton at 6 would be desperation. It would be desperation. And I love it because you saw the thing that he listed all the interviews he had and he forgot the Giants. And people were like, oh, he forgot the Giants. Well, that's no big deal. He's a kid. He's got like fucking 9,000 other things in his brain and he forgot the Giants. So what? Or is that what Zach is talking about? Art Stapleton. Zach Attack says the Giant beat is one of the most disgraceful media in the NFL. Someone sent me, I don't know her name. Just does a podcast. She's a beat writer. Patricia something. I can't remember her name. And they sent me one of her tweets. And the first half of her tweet was so wrong. And actually it was about not signing. If we didn't sign Daniel Jones, we never would have signed Andrew Thomas. We never would have signed Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, you would have. And if you did that, maybe you would have spaced out the contracts. But if you want to shill for the team, that's fine. Because that's what you get paid to do. Trina? Is that Trina? Thank you. If you want to shill for the team, that's great. Zach will post the Twitter thing. But I love it because people on Twitter are like, yeah, that's right. Great news. Great way to report. It's like you're not reporting shit. You are making excuses for an organization, and actually you're convoluting facts to make your team look good because that's what you get paid to do. If you want an unsolicited opinion, just go to NewYorkGiantsLive.com. There's wonderful articles on there written by some dashing, handsome man. Joe Rev, good morning, fellas. Kevin says, what's up, Tim? OG said the Giants are getting J.J. McCarthy, Tim. It's a wrap. I can't see it at 6. I can't. There has to be something his interview has to be stellar for the Giants. His pro day is going to have to look phenomenal. Good kid. Good arm. I think he had some nice touch on some of his passes. I actually watched the entire combine. Made my wife watch it. My wife and I spent yesterday evening watching the combine. That's when you know you found true love, when she will sit there with you and watch the NFL combine. And I love it because my wife is not she's not like a huge football fan, but she watches football to probably placate me, and because that's what you do in a marriage. And I love it because I like her thought process, because she was watching the combine and she's watching Penix throw, and she doesn't know who Michael Penix is. She has no clue who Michael Penix is. And she's like, well, I like that guy with the purple wrap on his head. I'm like, oh, really? Why? She goes, well, he throws the ball. He throws the ball really nice, and it goes far. And the receivers can run underneath it. Then J.J. McCarthy throws the ball. And she goes to me, and I love this because I keep thinking about it. She goes to me, he seems like it's hard for him to throw the ball downfield like the other guys. He throws it high and it goes far, but it doesn't go like the other guys goes. And there was a couple other guys I was laughing at that she was picking out. And I'm like, this is someone that does not have the football acclimate in regards to judging talent, but she's looking at these quarterbacks from an unabashed eye and sees all this stuff that she doesn't even know about, and she doesn't know any of the names. And she's like, oh, he looks like he's going to be really good. This is when she was talking about Penix. She's like, he looks like he'd be good. He looks like he was the best one out of all of them. And I'm watching her go, and I watch her just critique these guys. And it's great because I'm like, you're right. You're like, and she's like, oh, that guy's not going to get drafted. She was like, and when Joe Milton threw the ball really far down the field, she goes, well, that guy could throw that ball really far. But then she goes, but he doesn't do great when those things where you're throwing to the outside. He doesn't do great on those. This is online. Big Blue could say, well, I can't Patricia Train to see him. Good morning, Chris. Good morning to the chat. Zacatech said, but Joe Milton is bad. Joe Milton reminds me of AR-15, but I guess we demoted him. Joe Milton had a really good combine. Joe Milton is athletic. Joe Milton can do backflips. Joe Milton's got an arm. I mean, he's got a big time. I mean, he threw that ball. Oh, I even posted it. There was no effort. But that doesn't equate to being a great quarterback. But it does equate to the fact that you have the physical prowess and physical talent. You just may need to harness it. I've said it before. If the Giants took Joe Milton like in the 5th or 6th round, I wouldn't be upset. But as my wife put it, I love it again. Remember, she's not a football fanatic or a huge football fan. As my wife put it, the Giants don't draft black quarterbacks. I was like, okay, she might as well just, it should be the Mrs. OBB channel coming up next. Evan says McCarthy isn't the answer. I don't know if McCarthy's not the answer because I don't know what talent that McCarthy has, because You throw 659 passes in 3 years. You're in a run-centric offense. You are on a team that plays good defense. You have Jim Harbaugh. You have the physical traits and the physical tools, but you cannot take J.J. McCarthy at 6. You can't. You literally cannot. OG says, Tim, JJ is a John Mara pick. That's why I said I don't disagree. He might be a John Mara pick. Zack Attack says, people named Joe is not a good fit for the Giants. We got one coming and saying, good morning. We got the big Matthew. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, OBB family. Big Blue says, Penix is definitely going first round. I'd be shocked. The way Penix threw yesterday, if you watch that whole combine, the way Penix threw was a very virtuoso. It really was. I think he had one bad ball out of the entire, and this is a guy throwing left-handed. And it looks a little wonky even throwing left-handed, but I wasn't bothered by the windup as much either. But I was more impressed with the rotation on the ball. Now, I understand the fact that people that tell you that with left-handers, the rotation is reversed, but receivers can figure that out. We don't have any very good wide receivers anyway, so we get someone who's training from the beginning. But Penix has something. Penix, I've said it before, outside of Caleb Williams, I think Penix is the most pro-ready. I think he's a guy that you could put in as a day one starter. You're just going to have to overlook the injury issues. Duncan says, good morning, Giant Nation. G-Man says, greetings from Germany, Tim. Greetings. Well, how's Germany? What's Jonathan say? Jonathan says, Joe should get rid of another mistake and cut Waller if he's thinking about retirement. This is the other thing. Thank you, Jonathan. If Waller was really going to retire and Joe talked him out of it and he could have gained that cap space without taking a penalty, you are a fucking idiot. If that is true, that he talked him out of retirement, you are an idiot, Joe. It's not like you were going to get much out of Waller anyways. Now you got a guy that's 31 years old, almost 4 years removed from his best season, coming off multiple hamstring injuries. You are an idiot, Joe. If that was the case. I don't know if that was the case. I don't know if it's true. That was the rumor. Duncan also says, did Xavier Worthy lock himself into the first round selection? All right, that kid is quick, man. I mean, that kid is, just outside just outside that 40 time, man. He had a very good combine. I still projected him because of his size as a little bit more of a second round pick. But damn. This is also a kid that played as a freshman in 12 games. I think he had 62 receptions, almost 1,000 yards. He had a better season. Not really better season. He actually had a worse season his sophomore year, which was 2022. But he is a burner. He's got elite speed. He's got quickness. He's got reliable hands. But like I said, I don't like that drop off in production. And I worry that because of his frame, it's going to be a Jalen Hyatt type thing. Jalen Hyatt, I thought was going to come in and do a lot more, but my biggest concern was from jump was he going to get off the line? Was he going to be able to get around bigger defenders consistently? Were NFL defenders going to knock him off his route because of his build? And that's kind of what JJ Worthy. That's kind of what Xavier Worthy is. He's got that same type of build. I think he's got more speed. I still think he's a mid-second rounder. I wouldn't take him in the first round because of his size. Juan says the Giants might have to take a trade up and development quarterback like Rattler or Penix. I don't think. Well, first of all, if there's any if you want to take anything from the combine, and again, I will quote Mrs. OBB about Spencer Rattler. He misses a lot, and he doesn't throw the ball nicely to these guys. Spencer had a bad showing on a lot of his throws. I was not impressed with Spencer Rattler at all. McCarthy says isn't going to be a rise above the team he has. You're right. I don't think McCarthy is going to be anything better than what he has in front of him. He could be Eli Manning 3.0, Daniel Jones 2.0. If we want to be honest. And we got a lot of people that don't want to have honesty because they all want to go to NewYorkGiantsDelive.com and read those all original articles. Let's give them something. Let's see what Michael has to say. Michael says Joe will be fired if he doesn't draft a quarterback in a bad season. Listen, if Joe does not draft a quarterback and Daniel Jones comes out and throws up another clunker, which he will, people are like, well, Tim, how can you say that? Well, I have 5 years of body of work. And I've said the same thing about
King of the almost sacked.
Well, we gave him that big contract. I said, you cannot negate everything he did with the Jets because he had one good season with the Giants. You can't negate all the Jet seasons and that first season with the Giants. You couldn't. But we did. And we overpaid for a guy. And our run defense got more porous the older he got. Brunson says you shouldn't have you shouldn't have to convince yourself of a talent guy's talent. When I hear Abert, Allen, Mahomes, I see talent. We should have to convince me. That's a great point. So many people are trying to convince themselves on JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy, don't get me wrong, he could be Tom Brady reincarnated. He could be the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. But when you literally have to convince yourself on a guy, like the Daniel Jones pick back in 19, think about it. Or picking sixth, 6 years later. It's a bad omen. Juan says, don't believe a wide receiver at 6. I'm not taking away. I can take a wide receiver at 6, but here's the thing about taking a wide receiver at 6. If you don't have anyone to throw the ball to wide receiver, it doesn't really fucking matter. You could have Jonathan Taylor, Jerry Rice, on flanking you on either side, but if you cannot throw the ball to them or find them open, it doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter how many you take. Michael says, or DJ at 6. Oh wait, we did that already. Idaho says Chat Sports is the lowest of the low. Chat Sports, I actually know who they are. It's funny that you bring them up because I usually don't know who people are, and I usually have to have Zach Tech tell me who people are. But they are the people that just make shit up, literally. And the guy even comes out and says that we're just projecting this. We're kind of just making this up. And people follow this and watch this, and that's okay because they probably have their demographic is probably from like 8 to 14, which is fine. And listen, if you're doing shots of Fireball, grow the fuck up, please. Get a real drink. Get some Magic Mind. Giants 34 says, Tim, what's up? What's with the quarterbacks besides the top 3 fit? Dable says, I think it's Bo Nix, Milton. So if we can get them a 2 and 3 round, we'd be perfect. I would do, like I said, I don't know about Bo Nix. Bo Nix to me he was a one. Here's the problem with Bo Nix. He's also Daniel Jones-esque. He was a one-read quarterback at Oregon. One-read, first option quarterback. One thing I like about Penix, and I always talked about it in the interviews and everything else, that he can diagnose and break down plays. James, I love when you sent me the picture of the fireballs from your job. It was like $14.99 for a case. You're bilking these people for their super. I'm going to say it out loud. I'm going to say it out loud because I don't care. You are stealing money from children for your little super chats and your whatever else you charge people for. You should be ashamed of yourself because you don't do any information and you sit there and you drink Fireball. Why don't you crack open your piggy bank from the money you're stealing from people and get yourself a real drink? Worthy equals Hyatt. Yeah, I can see that, but with more speed and more quickness. Worthy, that is. Greg says, I'm hearing a good chunk of the Giant fans saying we're going to take a tackle at 6. What's wrong with these people? If we're taking a new tackle, here's the thing. If you're taking a tackle at 6, most of the best tackles are left tackles. So we're gonna go again one more time. Take a left tackle, move him to right tackle. Take the right tackle who was a left tackle, move him to right guard, and have an underside center and pray to God. Chris says either trade up to get one of the top 3, trade back. There you go, Chris. Chris just sums it up. You can't get one of the top quarterbacks. Trade back a little bit. Trade back to a spot you know you can get Penix, get some assets, and do it right. Zach says my college makes you see why my generation is stupid. Let's see here. Juan says, I agree with McCarthy would be a disaster for the season at this will take an offensive line and move Neal to tackle inside. They trade up for developmental quarterback. It doesn't make sense. We can't take it at 6. OG says, not a guy that I want the Giants draft, but I'm intrigued by Slavish, whatever his name is. You know what? He actually threw some pretty pretty nice passes. He's got a nice arm. Bounced around a little bit in college. Alan, give Tim the likes. Yeah, Alan's got it right. Give me the likes. I don't ask for anything. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for anything. I ask you to hit the damn like button. How hard is that? A little fired up today. Joe Rabbit says, man, I don't know. The Giants picked Jones at 6. Why wouldn't they make another horrible mistake and take JJM at 6? David says, where would you take McCarthy, not 6? I would take McCarthy in the second round. I would take him anywhere between I would take him lower half of the first, maybe around pick. I would take him anywhere between pick 30 and 48. I think he's got talent. I think he's got an ability. I think he could be a developmental guy, but you can't, when you are as bad as the Giants are, when you have as many issues as the Giants have, you cannot sit there and take a guy that you need to develop at 6. Everyone loves the shots of fireball. YouTube just makes me mad. And maybe it's because I'm old. YouTube just makes me mad. And I shouldn't say you're stealing money from children because they're voluntarily giving the money, but you don't read any of their chats unless you fucking get paid. I thought we were this big giant community. I used to be told by people, you know what you need to do? Your problem is you're too negative and you need to jump on board with everyone else. Okay. Give me money. 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 There you go. I jumped on board with everyone else. Joe Rev says, with this team, nothing will surprise me. David also says, I would take Penix if not the other quarterbacks. I think Jaden Daniels would be a good one. I like Jaden Daniels a lot. Like I said, I would take Williams, Daniels, May, and Penix over Daniel Jones. I wouldn't take McCarthy because I think I'm getting to think it's very similar, very McCarthy-esque. Duncan says, do you really want to take the 4th or 5th best quarterback out of this? No, I don't. You're right. You're 100% right. Mike Lee said, that is because Mrs. Online Big Blue is smart and not feeding out. I told her, I said, I love it when she watches this with me. I love it when she watches sports with me. I really do. Because like I said, she broke down not knowing any of the players. We watched the wide receivers and the quarterbacks yesterday. She broke down everything with a keen eye and knows nothing about any of these guys' names just by watching what they did. How often do you think Caleb's actions will affect his draft? Yeah, he's not going to affect his draft stock. Caleb was there. Caleb did his interviews. If I was Caleb, why would I even throw the ball? Why would I even have a pro day? When you're at the first overall pick, Matthew, there's nowhere to go but down. Chris says, my eye Peninsula and Leary had the best showing at all. 100%. If you want to look at a guy that helped his draft stock, Devin Leary, man. Devin Leary, he really put a stamp on his ability as a quarterback. Well, I shouldn't rephrase that as not as a quarterback, but he put his stamp as an ability to have the ability to make the throws on the field against the All Cones team. How about we put it that way? But he looked good. He looked good. He looked crisp. He had nice touch. Would I say he had the best long pass? No, he didn't. But like I said, he can spray the ball around. You could watch him go to, different spots. On the short to intermediate stuff, the accuracy against the all shorts team was impeccable, was elite. But again, there's no one on the field. But his accuracy and ball placement, Larry's was phenomenal. Was outside of I would, if I had to rank and reference the people that helped their draft stock the most, I would go Leary, I would go Penix, and then I would go Joe Milton. The guys that helped their draft stock the most with this combine. Larry was phenomenal. I didn't really watch much of him in Kentucky. I really didn't see a lot of him. but he gets the ball. He gets the ball out quick. He's got a good quick release. Like I said, is he going to be that guy on the? Is he the guy on the deep ball? I don't know. Like I said, my wife so put it, he just didn't throw it. he didn't throw it as far as the other guys. Duncan says McCarthy needs a red shirt year. McCarthy seems like a good kid, seems like a smart kid, but like I said, when you have to continuously try to convince yourself on someone being your quarterback, it's Daniel Jones all over again. Big Blue says, so true. They don't draft black quarterbacks. Makes me sick. I love it. My wife came out and said that directly. And she's, like I said, she doesn't know what any of these are. She's watching Penix throw, and she goes, the Giants should draft him. And then she pauses and goes, but they don't draft black quarterbacks. I almost hit the button. Phrase it again.
That's what she said.
Evan says he isn't the answer. 6 maybe later. Chris says Penix, not Peninsula, stupid spell check. I was wondering what Peninsula was. Chiefs might want to trade back. Would the Giants want to trade up to 30 so they can get the 5th-year option on their quarterback? That's smart. That would make sense to me, especially if you took a quarterback later in the draft, later in the first round, because you would get that 5th-year option. You would get it at a lower cost. Yeah, I would do that. Mike Lee say this team is at the top 10 of thinking, drafting JJ. God, I hope history does not repeat itself. It just seems like I would be so concerned if we get a report like we did in 19, where someone came out and said, Skip Bayless came out and said, there is a team that is high on Daniel Jones and is going to be taking him in the first half of the draft. And like I said, I remember hearing that going, please don't be the Giants. Please don't be the Giants. Please don't be the Giants. Coach Dave said to follow. What's up, Coach Dave? To follow what DJ with JJ would be idiotic. Yeah, we do a lot of idiotic things. Cutthroat says Waller's Kenny G 2.0. Waller is washed up, and if he really did convince him to come back, you're a moron. I'm sorry. If you really convinced, you could have saved all this cap space because he's retiring. Mike Lee says, but DJ needs weapons. Listen, Mike. We're not going to know what DJ is till like year 8. Most teams know after year 2 or 3. We need at least year 8. Evan says Waller needs to go. Big Blue says, I just over the Daniel Jones era. Zacatech says, was making fun of people who don't like Milton. Oh, I know. I know, Zach. I know exactly who you're making fun of, too. Matthew says, what does Matthew say? McCarthy can make any of the tools with Dable. The difference between him and DJ is that DJ only has one tool and no instinct. I don't know how much tools McCarthy really has. Could they trade up for Drake May? Evans asks. Yeah, they could. Would I trade up for Drake May? No, because I think he is a Daniel Jones with more athletic ability and a better arm. Yeah. Duncan says, yeah, that frame is a bit scary. We're probably talking about Worthy. Matthew says, I would rather trade up for Jaden, though. Not sure. I want Caleb. If he falls to us, great, but I prefer Daniels. Listen, if Caleb Williams falls to us and he's sitting there in front of us and he's sitting there at 6 and he is sitting there waiting because he's depressed because of the fact that he dropped from 1 to 6, I am running up to the podium with my Caleb Williams card if I'm the Giants. Because the Lords of Cobalt have just smiled on you.
Your command.
You run up and you take the pick. You do what Tom Coughlin did in 19 when the Giants passed on the linebacker Josh Allen. We've talked about it before. With the 6th overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select quarterback Daniel Jones. Duke. And I swear to God, not more than a half a second later, next on the clock, the Jacksonville Jaguar pick is already in. Jacksonville Jaguars take Josh Allen, linebacker. I mean, he literally ran the pick up. Big Blue says, Tim, would you trade up for the top? I would trade up for the top 3 quarterbacks. I got my brother in his house saying, good morning, chat. Salute to the chat. Hit the like button. Matthew says, DJ is going to have no Saquon, have no line. It's going to be ugly. Saquon's gone, guys. They're not going to tag him. They got to worry about tagging McKinney, and tagging McKinney would be stupid as well. Saquon's gone. Saquon is gone. He's going to go to a contender. I have to take my vitamins. Be healthy. I would say beat Bully James, Job Killer Jones. Yep. Zach Attack is saying, top of the morning. We got Mr. Sanders in this house saying, top of the morning to y'all. Danny Dunn says Daniel Jones would be the 7th or 8th quarterback drafted if he came out this year. If Daniel Jones came out this year, he would probably be, I would say, saying 7th or 8th quarterback would be nice. Don't forget to online go to NewYorkGiantsLive.com. You can also watch the stream on it right now. If you get blocked from YouTube at your job, just go to NewYorkGiantsLive.com because I stream right on the website as well. With daily, no article today though. I was too tired to write one yesterday. Let's see here. Let's see. Matthews. Let's see. James and Matthew having a chat. I approve, says Matthew. Jay Courts said, "Oh, I'm McCarthy. He reminds me of Daniel somewhat. I don't know if he reminds me of Daniel Jones, but I can't reach for a guy at 6. The true definition of a reach for the Giants would be J.J. McCarthy at 6. Joe Dude says, grab Milton in 4 or 5. Let's see if Dable really is the quarterback whisperer. Listen, Milton has all the physical intangibles. He does. He has all the physical intangibles. He's got the size. He's got the strength. He's got the speed. He's got the arm. But does that make you a good quarterback? No. It makes you a prospect. And like I said, he bounced around a little bit. He didn't perform as well as he probably should have. But when you watch him against the all shorts team, against the all corns team at the combine, you see the physical attributes. That throw was phenomenal. That throw was second to none. A couple of his deep ball is just beautiful. But that doesn't mean that you have to do that. Cutthroat says Chad Sports was in denial about how garbage Kadarius is. Some of us here said that draft day. Shots of fireball. James, you keep changing your picture on me. Davey says, I like Chad Sports because it's funny, lighthearted, but I don't take them seriously, though. But then why even watch them? If you're not going to take someone seriously with what they give you in regards to information, Davey, why even watch? Because the idea, and the giant YouTube community, what I'm always told, is the fact that, you need to provide proper information. James says stealing money like Daniel Jones stealing money from the Giants had us fans. Lol. Big James boys are giving a big old clap. Matthew says, if Mara isn't giving away money, he should pay us to stay fans. I have to turn in my season ticket money. I still haven't done it yet. I'm waiting to the very last minute. I think it was OGR Sports that told me you're a glutton for. Someone told me. I know it was a T-Brad. Someone told me you're a glutton for punishment. You're going to end up doing it. I don't know yet. Davey says the combine should be the Olympic sports the way it's going. Mike Mamula should have made the Hall of Fame. Mike Mamula, yeah, I agree. Sanders says shots of fireball. Hey, let's all do. Hey, if the Giants win, we're just going to do shots of magic mind. Let's give them something to talk about. It's amazing no one ever wants to invite me on their show. My hope is we trade up for Caleb or Jaden. I don't think we have any other option. We still keep decent grab capital, even trading up with the extra picks. Honestly, you're right. You trade up with the extra picks, and don't forget the like button. You still have draft capital. You still can do things. Like I said, I like Penix. Michael says Tana show is the best. You tell Tana show is the best. You tell it how it is. All Giant friends appreciate you. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I'm just me. I'm just me. And sometimes I wish I would be a little less me. OGR Sports says, but thank you, Michael. OGR Sports says, I think the part of the JJ hype is teams trying to convince other teams to go up and get him. Honestly, I don't see him. He makes it to 6 because I think there's a team that's going to go and do it. Do I think that somebody could make a Mitchell Trubisky mistake, a Daniel Jones mistake, and take him high? JJ, sure. But for the Giants, it's a plain reach. Cutthroat says, I'll take a box of plain Cheerios over Jones. I will take a box of, they used to be referred to, they had them at Acme. Maybe they still have them at Acme supermarkets. It was called Toastios, which was the generic version of Cheerios. I would take a box of Toastios over Daniel Jones. Michael says, you're the best. Tell it how that's what it is. What a Giant fans appreciate about you. I appreciate you, Michael. I really do. I love when I get messages. I got some great emails the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to read them because some of them are kind of personal. But it's funny about how important just being on the mic is for certain people. Certain people like, you help me get through the day, because I always talk about, maybe I'll just slow down doing stuff, and I won't do daily videos and stuff like that. But then people are like, no, man, you got to, this you're the best part of the day. When I got stuck at work and I'm having a bad day, and sometimes I just need a 10-minute break, and not only do you talk Giants, but you make me laugh. I always appreciate those emails. And like I said, every time I want to slow down, I usually get one of those emails, and I'm like, damn it, I got to keep going now. What do you think of Milton? I like Joe. Am I going to take Joe anywhere outside of 5 or 6? No. Did I do a video that says Joe Milton's got all the intangibles, that he has the arm strength, that he's got the body, he's got the speed, he's got the size. He was at a good program in Tennessee, but didn't put up the same numbers of Hendon Hooker. Yeah, that's 100% true. But like I said, if you're going to grab him later in the draft as a project guy, then he's got the physical tools and he's got the physical talents. I just don't know if he can combine them together. Mr. Jackson, good morning, everyone. Excuse me, Mr. Jackson. I didn't watch any of the combine. What are your quick takeaways? Quarterback takeaways. JJ McCarthy. I love it because, like I said, I'm watching the deep ball and people are like, well, he's got the arm. He seemed to put a lot behind getting that out. Difference between Penix and Milton, night and day. I think Leary helped himself. Just on the wide receivers, quarterback says that was mainly what I was interested in. I think Leary helped himself. I think McCarthy helped himself. I think Penix helped himself. I think Joe Milton helped himself. And I think people like Spencer Rattler better have one hell of a pro day. Mr. Alvarez says, hey, Tim, Leary feels like this year's Gardner Minshew, though. I don't know where Devin Leary's going to end up. I really don't, because he's another guy's a little, not small, but I think he came in around like 6 foot. I would find it funny though. JJ McCarthy put on weight. JJ McCarthy put on like 19 pounds, which is something that I was complaining about. People made fun of me when I complained about JMS losing weight. Now people are probably gonna make fun of me about McCarthy putting on weight, but McCarthy needed to put on weight. This is a guy though in Leary. He had a great turnover ratio. He was in college for 5 years. I think he had 87 touchdowns and 28 interceptions, something like that. 30 interceptions. Quick release, good ball placement. Like I said, on the short passes, right there. I think his biggest issue is always going to be the arm strength. Can he push it down the field? He showed that he has he has the ability, but it's going to be a little bit more of an effort. But if you're looking for a guy that's accurate, you're looking for a guy that is going to be able to work those out patterns, do a little bit short intermediate passes, be extremely accurate. Problem is, you got to remember, he's going to be 25 in September. In reference to Devin Leary, he's going to be 25 years old. People bashed Hendon Hooker was all going on a Heisman season because he was going to be 25 years old coming out of the draft, but he's going to be 25. Second round, third round, I could see that. If he has a great pro day, don't forget the like button. If he has a great pro day, I could see him going second round, third round. I mean, like I said, if you're looking for a guy that's extremely accurate, good ball placement, short to intermediate passes, you're looking for a guy with a quick release, you're looking for a guy that has the ability to break down the field. You know what the other thing is, and this is what a lot of people said about Penix today, or on Saturday, whatever fucking day it was, that everyone that talked to him or interviewed him, one of the first things they took away from was his ability to break down plays and his ability to adjust when they said something to him. And if you watch a lot of film at him at Washington, he goes through his progressions nicely. And one of the things I think a lot of people are concerned about is his pocket mobility. But I started watching a lot more tape of him in Washington. He has really good pocket presence, and he has the ability to, he's what I refer to as he's not a runner, he's a slider. He slides in the pocket. He almost, what's a good term I always use? He skates in the pocket. He has the ability to step up, step back, climb the ladder, go to the left, go to the right, and he feels the pressure and he avoids the rush. And like I said, I think that, to that alone, I can't take him at 6 because of the injury history, but it's going to be tough. Johnny Rigo says, let Waller retire, save money, and draft the tight end. No, we talked him out of retiring. I can see the phone call now. Joe, this is Darren Waller. Listen, I'm thinking about retiring. Joe, no, you can't do that because I have to destroy my cap space and continue this stupid trade. Davey says, Tim, what's the big question I have after watching the combine? Can they throw during a game when it matters? That is the big question. The combine is just good to see if you have the velocity, if you have the ability to have a little bit of touch. You see if you have a little bit, reference to ball placement. A lot of times you see wide receivers drop the passes, but some of these things that the wide receivers are doing, that they're dropping the balls, those weren't quarterback drills. Those were wide receiver drills to see if they could, step in the bucket and turn the wide receivers. So you really can't fault some of those plays that you missed. But that's what it is. Apparently Waller hasn't decided yet. If he's still retired, let's hope he retires. Zach says, I hope New England does. I still think I've reported on this. I thought it funny. They talked about it on the broadcast about New England trading for Justin Fields and taking Marvin Harrison Jr. I keep hearing it. I don't know. I keep hearing it. Spencer Rattler. How did Spencer Rattler look? Yes, Spencer Rattler needs to have a really good pro day. That's why I would tell you how Spencer Rattler looked. He better have one awesome pro day. What's up, me, Jet? Tim? We're going to suck again this year, no matter who we draft. Yeah, but at least if we get a quarterback and Don, is that Big Don in the chat? Is that Big Don in the chat? Is that Big Don in the chat? I have to watch the other window and I see Big Don. But let's draft somebody fun. Johnny Rico says, I am a fan of Daniels in the first round, of Penix in the second. Also grab a wide receiver in the third round. Listen, if you want to grab a wide receiver, go right ahead. This is a great draft for wide receivers. You can get a wide receiver later in the draft. I thought Keenan Johnson looked good, but you can get a wide receiver later in the draft and later in the first round. But I've said it before. It doesn't matter how fast Xavier Worthy is if you can't throw the ball to him. Razzle said, did you press the thumb? Yeah, hit the like button. I don't know where I'm going to go here and I'm going to refresh. See if people are hitting the like button. Oh, 50 likes. People are hitting the like button. Yes. Let's give them. Quads is done in New York. He's a comp pick now. People keep forgetting you are going to get a comp pick for Barkley. We might even get a second or third rounder, at least for Barkley. But he's gone. If you're Saquon, you're going to say everything right just in case you have to go back to the Giants. But in 2 days, when we don't tag him and he's an unrestricted free agent, if I'm Saquon and they want me, going to 3 different teams. I'm going to the Chargers, I'm going to the Ravens, or I'm going to Dallas. That's where I'm going to go. Razzle says, Barkley is so underappreciated. I hope he gets a chip on that. He is underappreciated. Barkley really is. Barkley's one of these guys that did so much for this organization. And people talk about, well, Daniel Jones doesn't have the offensive line to succeed. So that means Saquon Barkley does? Come on, guys. Daniel Jones can't play behind this offensive line, but Saquon Barkley can rush behind it. There's one player that is overappreciated for doing nothing. There's another player that's underappreciated for basically being the team. And a big shout out to Don gifting memberships to Online Big Blue Sports OG Club. You get all your videos a day early. You usually get the articles early now. I hope people are enjoying the articles at NewYorkGiantsLive.com. I'm enjoying writing them. I can't do them daily anymore because it's getting to be too much doing the show and my other podcast and doing the articles at the same time. But I'm gonna try. And there's no article today. I just did not have the effort in me to write an article yesterday. But hopefully you enjoy it at NewYorkGiantsLive.com. You get that article. All right, so let's give a big shout out and a big thanks to Big Don, who is a huge supporter of the show. Don is probably going to be on the draft stream on draft night. I will be at the stadium as always. I think we're going to broadcast the pick from the locker room like we did last year. Or no, we did from the field last year. We did the first couple picks last year, and luckily it's going to be 6 overall, so it's going to be an early night. Let's see here. What do you do with McKinney? That's a big nut for a guy that is a crucial part to your defense, but who had his best 2 seasons under a guy who took his skill set and moved it to Michigan. So under the tutelage of Wink, And like I said, Shane Bowman, unless he is changing his entire defensive philosophy, does not blitz a lot, drops his ends into coverage quite extensively, and does run a good amount of a 4-man front. People say, we runs a 3-4. Well, go back and watch the film. He does run a 4-man front quite a bit. Only blitzes about 27% of the time. Does McKinney's skill set fit the philosophy of Shane Bowman? I don't know. Because I don't know what Shane's going to run. The same thing with Isaiah Simmons. I can't bring Isaiah Simmons back because he had his best season under Wink. I don't know. And his best season under Wink wasn't that great. And at least Xavier can play that quasi in the box linebacker role like Logan Ryan did and Peppers did years past under Patrick Graham. And he does play 100% of the snaps. But is he going to have the same ability to make the plays like he did under Wink? Because there's the thing with McKinney. McKinney had more opportunity to make big plays because of the fact that you are blitzing, you are attacking, you are going after the quarterback, you are fighting, you are going after the man. But it's on the other side of the line wearing that single double-digit number. You are going after that guy, which opens up opportunities for you. When you work with a system where the guy blitzes less, what's going to happen? And Shane Bowen is not known for his pass defenses. We've talked about this before. We're going to do it. We'll recap it really quickly. 2020, Titans had a really bad season defensively, still went 11-5. Vrabel came out and said after he gave the defensive coordinator position to Bowen in 2021 that Bowen really was the defensive coordinator in 2020. He just didn't have the title. 2021, 2022, what do? They bring in Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz, by his own words, go read the article on the Tennessee Titans website, came out and says, my job was to mentor the defensive coordinator and the defensive staff. Defense improves. Schwartz leaves to take the job with the Browns. The pass defense goes to shit again. Is it Schwartz or is it Bowen? I don't know. Irish Rover. I hope all is well. Everything's great, my brother. Juan. James Williams says Saquon will be gone the minute the season ends. Season's already ended. DJ says, well, DJ is still on our trash quarterback, so next year we'll have to have the same more 8-9 wins at the most. We're not even going to 8-9. When you got DJ on the quarterback, you're getting 6 wins. He was 1-4. And part of the multiple blowout syndrome. Zach Attack says, I can see the Texans targeting Barkley. He would help CJ Stroud extensively. I agree. But like I said, if I'm Barkley, I'm going to LA for the Chargers because you have Harbaugh, who you know from college likes to Herman Munster it and run. And you have Herbert. Or I'm going to Baltimore because you are going to be championship ready and you have Lamar Jackson right behind you. Or I'm going to Dallas just to stick it to the Giants. Because the Dallas, for everything we talked about, the Dallas, they are competitive every year. Dak may not get them over the hump.
That's what she said.
But they are competitive every year. Let's give them something to talk about. Duncan says, would you consider Bowers at 6 to give your no, I would not. I'm going to say this before, and I've said this a million times before. You never take a tight end in the top 10, top 15. Kyle Pitts came out. Kyle Pitts was going to revolutionize the tight end position. He was going to be the best tight end since the invention of the tight end. He was going to be the best one ever. And I kept saying to people, you just can't take a tight end that high. You can't. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. Same thing with taking a safety that high. You can't do it. You shouldn't do it, but you can't do it. Not saying he's had a bad career, but has he really had the career that everyone thought he was going to have? Has he really made that impact in Atlanta like everyone thought he was going to do? So sitting there and drafting a security blanket for Daniel Jones is not going to make it any better for you. I mean, you got to kind of think about that. The only tight end that really worked out in the top 10 was what's his name was TJ Hawkinson. That's really the only tight end that's really worked out really well. Davey says, just remember, if we get Josh on, we wouldn't have the king of the almost sack. I would be happy with that. Alan says, are you talking about articles from listeners? If you're so, I want to submit. If you want to submit an article, the Dom wrote an article last week, a great article. Submit it at tim@onlineBigBlue.com. That's Tim, or just go to Twitter, DM it to me. But Alan, submit it to tim@onlineBigBlue.com. I will post articles on people. If you write an article and I think it's good, I will put it up 100%. I have been writing the articles personally, all the articles except for one. And I have to thank Dom for writing that article because I didn't have to write an article that day. Duncan, I would love the idea as long as we get a second round quarter. You just cannot take a tight end that high. You can't. OG says, since Joe Shane and Brian Dable have it and win now, they'll get a veteran quarterback, draft a quarterback land rounds. Jimmy G are the porn stash. I love the porn stash.
That's what she said.
Gardner put up Daniel Jones-esque numbers, and they're talking about giving him $7 to $8 million. He would be on average a $7-8 million guy. Baker Mayfield put up better numbers than Daniel Jones, and they're already talking about giving him less than Daniel Jones. Baker Mayfield has a much greater, more successful body of work than Daniel Jones, but they're still talking about giving him less than Daniel Jones. Something is very wrong there. What's up, Douglas? What's going on? As he said, that's why I figured we need to add some weapons because the amount of wide receivers in the draft. You just can't take a tight end that high. You can't. OG knockout with a big old salute. Duncan says, how many picks do the Giants have now? Well, the Saquon Barkley pick wouldn't be till next year. Let's see here. When I need information about the Giants, I watch you, Tim. Well, I appreciate that. G-Man says, I'll take a box of Daniel Jones. They can keep the Cheerios. I like Cheerios. Edward says, what I said, I just want Daniel Jones gone and see those oh my God. Can you actually believe there are still DJ fanboys? Can you actually believe that? I can't. You talk about defending something like it's your own child. We're going on year 6. This is so ridiculous. It's year 6. And we're still, and I love it because Joe Shane at 27 years old for Dan Jones, he's still a young guy. He's been in the league going on 6 years. Giants 34 said, Tim, since Joe can't really draft good players, do you think trading some picks for players that are already proven Fields for second round or 6 overall to Oklahoma? I would love to get Fields. I think you can get him for a second. I think you can get him for like a second and a 6. I take my wide receiver at 6. I take an offensive lineman in the third and the second. Probably try to grab a tight end in the second. Grab a running back in the third because there's a lot of good running backs. I don't think there's a lot of high end running backs. I think there's a lot of good running backs in this draft. We're gonna have to do a running back video next week. I take and I fix my offense. We did a whole video a couple of weeks ago about how to fix the entire offense. Zach Attack says, does anyone think Penix will go in the second? No, Penix is going first. Penix is showing yesterday, should have proved to everyone that he is the most physically gifted and pro-ready quarterback outside of Caleb Williams. Gino says, I think Joe Milton throws a rocket, but you barely hear his name. Well, we talked about Joe Milton. Joe Milton's got that arm. Joe Milton's got the arm. He's got the physical intangibles. Is that going to make him a good quarterback? No. But if you're looking for someone that has the physical traits, and that's what I was trying to talk about a couple Sundays ago, it's Joe Milton. Matthew says, I don't really understand why anyone could be a fan of Daniel Jones, 23-36, and a putrid overall performance. What's the appeal? I've been 5+ years with very little upside. Well, you got to look at the Minnesota game, according to Joe Shane. But we forget about the Eagle game, and then we forget about the disaster that followed up opening day in Dallas. I love telling Tim dumb things people say in college. I always enjoy getting the dumb things that people say in school for Zach. I always love it. What is someone typing to me? I got to answer this email real quick. I love it. Someone asked me to write an article and they just emailed me about it. Sports Critic says, "What's up, Tim?" Duncan says, "I also think Penix gets past the Raiders. I don't think Penix gets back. I like the kid Keenan Coleman, a wide receiver." Bruce, we talked about Keenan Coleman ad nauseum. We've talked about that kid ad nauseum. That was my selection. That's my plan. This is my plan. But now Penix fucked up my plan by having a great showing. I trade out of 6. I moved down to like 12 to 17. I draft Coleman. Then I trade back up to the lower half of the first round and I take Penix. We did a whole video about that. Let's see here. The 461 timer Coleman explains why he can't get separation. They said the same. I'm not comparing him to Jerry Rice. But they said the same thing about Jerry Rice coming out of college. Davey says, I don't really like Spencer Rattler. He may have had Spencer Rattler had a bad combine. Well, he had a bad throwing showing at the throwing at the combine. I was not impressed. And like I said, Mrs. OBB watching the combine when Spencer threw was like, he doesn't throw the ball like the other guys. He misses. He misses a lot on those outside ones. And the other guys throw where the guy runs underneath it. He doesn't do that. I was like, there you go. As Giant fans, we expected to pocket presence because DJ is a case study of, you know what's funny? Absence. If we ever got a quarterback that had any type of pocket presence, we do have one. It was called Tyrod Taylor, but he's 497 years old. We would just be amazed. Go back and watch the film of Eli Manning. Go back and watch his film and his pocket presence. Even in the 2004-06 season when Jeremiah Trotter rocked him in Philadelphia that game, go back and watch his presence, even as a rookie. We've talked about it before. When Kurt Warner was a quarterback, the Giants were taking sacks left and right. The Giants took less sacks when Eli Manning came into the game, say it about offensive line. But how do you take less sacks when you have a rookie quarterback in over a veteran, a savvy MVP veteran Super Bowl winner? It's easy. Eli got rid of the ball. Kurt Warner didn't. Drafting and developing a quarterback isn't easy, folks. No, it's not. Darn it, Tim. An early stream at work almost missed this. Don't forget, if your job blocks YouTube, go to NewYorkGiantsLive.com. You can watch the streams on the phone or on your desk from the website. People ask me, why did you build a website? Because I had too many people complain to me that when I do streams, they're like, well, I can't watch you because you do streams at weird times. Why? I got a family, so I got to be with the family. So they're like, and then I'm at work, and then my job blocks YouTube. NewYorkGiantsLive.com. Let's see. James says, I have to be honest, I don't care about the combine. I like to use when I was younger. I care more about what you do in the game. 100%. Tim says, Douglas, anyone interest you in the combine that isn't a big name? I think Joe Milton is the guy. I think he really impressed me a little bit. Like I said, we talked about Devin Leary. Devin Leary was like a guy out of nowhere. Like I said, but that age of 25 years old doesn't scare me. But you better do something quick with him because at the end of his contract, he's going to be first year contract. He's going to be 30. Slasher says the Giant got Azura and Penix Jr. in the second round. I would, as an Eagle fan, that would truly scare me. You know what, Slasher, as an Eagle fan, that scares me? Howie Rosen scares the bejesus out of me. I hate that guy. He's the mad genius. I guarantee you, he's going to retool Philadelphia somehow through the salary cap, and I have no idea how he does it. Howie Rosen teaches a master class in salary cap management. The Giants aren't even in kindergarten in reference to salary cap management. How do we keep farking up the salary cap? Oh, because we make bad deals and give bad contracts, and we don't space out the contracts of our fifth-year options on players that we already have under contract. Not looking at you, Patricia. Michael says, Tim and Shane actually want to get Caleb and Jaden. Do you think it's possible that those teams would be willing to trade those picks for? Oh, yeah, they would. If he truly wanted to move up to like 3, he could easily get Jaden. Asmi says, if Daniel Jones still our quarterback, David says, I want to see the Giants. I see a quarterback and the combine pressure from the blind signs. Can they get off passes? The combine doesn't really show anything, but like I said, the combine to me just shows me your ball placement, your throwing motion. Do you have the accuracy and do you have the arm strength, especially on the go routes? And there was a lot of quarterbacks that just don't have the arm strength on the go routes. And like I said, there's a lot of people that they have to wind up with a lot of torque to make the same throws that people like Milton and Penix were making on the flick of a wrist. You know what's funny? You watch the film on Spencer Rattler. He has this nice quick release. I didn't see it yesterday. I didn't see that release. I don't know. Don't forget, hit the like button. James says, how many top picks have we wasted or didn't pan out the last 5 or 6 years? The answer, a lot. Let's see. MK5 says, I'd love to see Barkley win a chip. Barkley deserves it. Barkley is one of those things that you always say he's a good soldier. Barkley's a good soldier. And don't forget the like button, or I'm going to sing. Don't forget to hit the like button. We'll talk about likes. He deserves it as well. Davey says, how about the wideout who ran a 4.22? No, actually, Davey, he ran a 4.21, which is now the record of a John Ross, the former Cincinnati Bengal and Giant who's out of the league. I still see him as a second, third rounder Xavier Worthy. Slight of build. Is he going to be able to get around? Same thing with Jalen Hyatt. Is he going to be able to get around? Jalen Hyatt's biggest issue is that first step in getting around the defender and getting knocked off his route. Worthy is the same type of guy, but I think he has more speed and quickness than Hyatt. But is he going to get knocked off his route coming off the line? That's going to be the big question. Giants, Zach says, you have two camps, Barkley fans and Daniel Jones fans. Don is the man. Big Dom.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
We'll be helping running the draft stream. As always, I'll be at the stadium broadcasting live, bringing probably 3 or 4 subscribers again this year. Hanging out on the field, drinking with the OBB. Love your shows at Richard Tim. I got banned again from BBI, a message board by Eric for speaking the truth. Zach, put it in the private chat so I don't look like an idiot. Who is BBI? You'll never get banned here. MK5 says, I joined in late. Do you think about the quarter? We talked. I think I've addressed that a couple times. I'm way behind on the chat by about 15 minutes. But like I said, I think Penix shot up. Penix showed he's the most pro ready outside of Caleb Williams. He really did. Leary, big step. What's that kid? Howard had a nice showing. Just doesn't have the big arm. Rattler didn't do himself any favors. Same with Sam. Same with what's his name? Hartman. Hartman did not do himself any favors either. But like I said, it's just a combine. Razzle says, any ideas why Saquon is underappreciated by the front office, primarily Merritt? I think he's underappreciated by Shane more because I don't think Shane believes in the running back. Who is BBL? Zach, who's BBL? Don't DM it to me, Zach, on Twitter because I don't have Twitter up. There's a private chat there, Zach. I don't know who BBL is. I know what BYOB is. Don says you are welcome, heathens. You heathens! It's okay to say thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Say thank you to Big Don. I see some thank yous. I am not going to give out any more knowledge until you thank Big Don. I will sit here. No, I won't. Let's give them something to talk about. Where do you have a podcast? Oh, it's my Get Off My Lawn, the Mad Realmies of a Gen Xer. Anywhere you can find podcasts. Tia Brad says, I'm late. Hit the like button. Zach says, would you say Bowen defense is a multiple defense? I do think it's a multiple defense. But a lot of people just want to look at the base and say, he runs a 3-4. Let's see. Johnny Rico says, Barkley and the Chargers would be crazy. Oh, Barkley, you got to charge. Listen, you got bad knees. You go to LA, the warm weather. Herbert, Harbaugh. Why didn't the Giants trade Barkley last year? Now we're getting nothing for him because Joe Shane has made a lot of questionable moves. And like I said, I love Twitter. Twitter is like, look at he released Glowinski. He's just making those moves, saving those draft, getting that capital so we go out there in free agency. Well, he should never have signed Glowinski in the first place. You overpaid for a guy that the majority of us knew was a systems guy and a scheme guy in Indianapolis because you look at his career before he got to the Colts. But But you paid him anyways because he was the best one on the market that you could fit under your budget. But I'll say it again. I've said it 1,000 times. I've been saying it since my 20s. Don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. It was a bad pick. All you did was get rid of one of your mistakes. And there's a lot of them lately. Mr. Roberts says Daniel Jones is released. Tweet after his upcoming season is over is going to hit like crack in the 80s. It's going to be like crack in the 80s in Miami. And I'm not just talking at the U. Chris says Dom is right there with Schwartz everywhere. He has been the defense to the top. That's the thing, man. Schwartz is the guy. No, let's see. I'm saying, do you think if DJ has a 2022 performance again this year, the Giants, how can you have a guy that has 3,000 yards, 15 touchdowns? Yeah, he got you 700 yards rushing, but he's not going to do that again because teams league figures out really quickly. How do you think that is a below NFL average starting quarterback season? We did it before. We took the other 31. I'm not yelling at you, MK5. We took the other 31 starting quarterbacks. We averaged out what it was, with those, and we compared it to Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones was like 600 yards less passing. I think it was 10 or 11 touchdowns. And yes, he had more rushing yards, but everything else was below average compared to the other 31 combined quarterbacks. I don't get it. Matthew says, same DJ, no Saquon, 5'12 best, and that's being nice. Douglas says, I feel like Saquon is coming back. I don't know. No, he's not coming back. I love nightmares of Saquon going to Philly or the Skins with Caleb. He ends up in Dallas. I quit. I quit if he ends up in Dallas. I'm like, I quit. I'm not playing this game no more. MK5, I doubted his performance wasn't worth $40 million. Stanley says, hey, Tim, I told you Xavier Worthy is going to be a sleeper in this year's draft. Listen, he's got the speed. Hold on. What does Mick say about speed? Hold on. I had all these new sound effects that I was going to put on the board, but I got down to the mic late because I was tired and I was having coffee and I'm just tired. And I'm gonna try to find about this thing. Hold on. We're gonna read that clip we're gonna read that clip again. Here we go. Tim, I told you Xavier Worthy is gonna be a sleeper in this draft. He's got speed. You know what speed is?
You gotta get speed. Demon speed. Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
Speed is great until you can't get off the line. Ask Ronaldo Nehemiah. James says Troy and Ed Reed were definitely worth a high pick considering high. Yeah, but the thing is this. We also broke this down about the safety pick. There was at one point in time, there was only, I think it was like a 15-year span. There was only one safety taken in the top 10. There's a reason, because it's positional value. We've talked about that before. Kyle Pitts suffered the same incompetence of Arthur Smith as well as using him as weapons at all. Drake London. Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Would love to get picked Johnny Wilson in the later rounds and put him at tight end. It's actually not a bad idea. Let's see. Hey, Jerry Jones might have a daughter that might inherit the Dallas Cowboys. Did not know that. Alexander says Roman at 6, Penix in the later first. I like neighbors. And I've said this before. We did a video about fixing the Giants offense. Even posted some guys that you could probably grab them for agency at a lower cost. If I could take neighbors at 6 and trade back up in the first round for Penix, I would do that. Or like I said, I would take Coleman down, trade out of the 6. Accumulate some more assets, take Coleman and trade back up for Penix. What does Johnny Rico say? Johnny Rico says Jerry Jones can easily avoid giving his daughter away from anywhere now. All he needs is a lawyer, which he has. I don't know what's going on with there. Stanley says, hey, Tim, Keenan Coleman will be a bust. Doesn't have the separation, let alone he's actually not limited in his route tree. I do not believe that. That I do not believe. And separation to me, especially at his size, he can be created. There's, like I said, they said the same thing about Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice didn't have speed, and Jerry Rice does not have the ability to create separation. Yeah, I mean, Jerry Rice, I'm gonna love this because I know this for a fact. Do you know, Stanley? And we talked about Keenan's 40 time. Do you know what Jerry Rice's 40 time was at the combine? 4.71. Jerry Rice, NFL combine, 4.71. And they said the same. I'm not saying he's going to be Jerry Rice. I'm just saying that's what he's saying. Upper body strength shades. When are the IPP guys coming at the combine? When the IPP guys? When are the IPP guys? When are the IPP guys? What am I missing? What am I missing? I know IPP is the government agency. I know they're also the independent power producers. I don't know. Upper body strength. Come back with that question because I don't know. I'm a little slow this morning. Protects to ones. What's up, Protects? What's up, my brother? Jones is the future. We still need to wait another 3 to 4 years. Give him some weapons, but he can't throw the ball. That's okay. Big Blue Forever says, "Are you losing weight? You look good." Well, yes, I am. Thank you very much for asking. We're on a special diet at this house. A lot of things going on at this house. We're on a special diet. So I'm dropping the LBs because I got to get ready. Training camp, man. Let's see here. People keep forgetting Jones's age. He's 27. This is his prime years. The best he is going to be. Jones fans are just in denial at this point. I didn't forget that, Mr. Alvarez. I just said it. He's 27 years old. He's been in the league for 5 years. You know what he is. Because you have to hit the like button. We got to get to 100 likes. Sublime says he missed the combine and he surprised quarterbacks. Like we talked about him quickly again. We're gonna go through. Leary was very much a surprise. I think Howard showed a little bit more than I thought outside, not having the deep ball. Penix showed that he is outside of Caleb Williams. He is ready. He is the most pro ready. Joe Milton, big arm, nice touch in some passes. Missed some guys, but like I said, he has all the physical intangibles and he's got a huge ass arm. Spencer Rattler should stay in school. James says, a woman who speaks her bougie mind and tells it like it is. That's Mrs. OBB in a nutshell.
Out of you. Don't get your hands off me, Maria. Nobody calling me bougie. Maria, what is bougie?
It means you think you're better than other people.
What in the hell? Bougie ass child.
Douglas says, I am making pizza and watching right now. Oh, pizza. I'd like a pizza. I can't have a pizza, though. This wonderful diet, I can't eat anything. I can have asparagus, any type of protein I want, like chicken, fish, steak. That's always good. Like sweet potatoes. Can't have green beans. I can have like roots. I had yucca. I can't remember what I can have arugula. It's great. It's great. People wonder why I'm upset. Oh my God. I'm dying here. Matthew says Giants cap management went to Prince. What do we got here? Prince 100 Bill says, Tim, the team's future is giving me anxiety thinking about the Giants position, the cap, the future. Please, some words of encouragement because they are giving me crazy pills. Words of encouragement. Well, the season hasn't started yet.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Season hasn't started yet. So I'm not a big fan of JJ McCarthy. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of JJ McCarthy. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this about JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy, you can't take him at 6. You literally cannot take him at 6. You cannot. You have the ultimate cautionary tale at reaching for a quarterback at 6. But this quarterback has a better pedigree, but you have the ultimate cautionary tale. JJ McCarthy's probably our pick. I can't do it. There's a BBL chat. I got to find who BBL is. I'm getting close. Richard says BBL is Big Blue Interactive. I got no clue. Are they on YouTube? Zach, you're not chatting. Zach, you're not hitting me up with these knowledgeable things here. And don't tell me you're DMing me on Twitter because I don't have Twitter open. Hold on, I got to open up Twitter. I don't know who they are. I truly don't know who they are. Let's get bounce. I was trying to pull him up, but I don't know. It takes some more. Big BBKL, Big Blue Kickoff Live. I still don't know who that is. I know what MKZ is, and I know what MLK is. I have no idea who BBKL is. I don't know. Are they? Okay. BBL is what women are using to get super dude. I don't know who these people are. Someone send me the link. I have no idea. Prince says, Tim, can you point us to the BBL fans? I don't know who BBL is. I don't know. I don't know who they are. Okay, hold on. Let's. Oh, okay. What is it called? Big Blue Live Interactive. All I get is Big Blue. I get speakers come up. Big Blue Live audio speakers. How about BBL? BBL Giants. How about that? What about that? Okay, I got no clue. I can't find them. Someone just tell me the link because I can't find them. Which quarterback is the best to sit behind $47 million man Jones for season? Do you think it helps them or hurts them? I know a quarterback is best. You grab Penix and you don't play the other guy. Do you really want anyone sitting behind Daniel Jones and learning pocket presence and learning pocket awareness? I could see the meeting room now. Daniel Jones. Okay, guys, this is what you're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna teach you guys pocket awareness and pocket presence. I've been in this league going on 6 years now. You got this. You ready? Center out gets you the ball. You go back, and you kind of just stand there for a while. Don't look downfield because someone might be open. But there's a check down route. Don't go to that right away. First, scramble a little. And make sure you run into a couple of people and get sacked. There you go. No, I don't want anyone. How likely do you think we make a move for Caleb? I think it's a 0% chance we make a move for Caleb. Frank, Big Frank, and the sounds of Sinatra and the way you look tonight. Caleb is the only quarterback in the draft that actually looks off DV. No, that's not true. Penix does that. Penix does that as well. Look at his film. JJ is a no-go. JJ is this. JJ was not asked to do the things that Williams and Penix were asked to do. That's what I'm saying. I'm not bashing McCarthy. All I'm saying is he was not asked to do these things. So we don't have any film. Like I said, I never look at college stats for quarterbacks in college and when they come out of college because I don't look at the stats because the stats are very misleading. I look at the plays. I don't look at just the good plays. I look at the bad plays because you have to look at the both. You can't just look at one and say, "Oh, okay, well this is it." Because of the fact that sometimes when something is a bad play, you need to see what made it a bad play. Was there a breakdown in coverage? Did someone miss their assignment? Was it just a bad play by the quarterback? And a lot of times those bad plays, if you break it down, don't look bad for the quarterback. They look bad for the offensive line. They look bad for the wide receivers or something else. So you have to see how they adapt to those bad plays. And JJ was not put in that type of position like Penix and Williams were. Williams, everyone's like, well, Williams' numbers dropped. Yeah, they did. He also lost his top wide receiver to the draft. His offensive line was not good. But you look at some of the plays that he made and some of the bad plays that were around him that he turned into good plays. J-Min says, a typo. I'll take a box of Cheerios over DJ. Just keep the Cheerios. I told you, we're getting the Tostios. Let's see. Speed is a must, but you also have to be able to catch while using your speed. Ask Willie Gold. The Giants draft history says they don't take care about positional value. They really don't. Not really since part of Ernie Accorsi, not Ernie Accorsi, more of it would be Jerry Reese / Ernie Accorsi and George Young. And I'm talking the draft up to 2011, we looked at positional value a lot. After that, the last 13 years. No, not so much. How about them Knicks? Yeah, injuries, and they got Shake Milton, but injuries are a huge thing. They need to get their guys back. Said it before. We got to play at least 500 until we get some guys back. The combine is just a modern cattle call. I agree, but like I said, it gives you a litmus test in regards to seeing how big people are, some of their mobility, some of their size, some of their speed, some of their strength. You can't use it to gauge anything completely, but you can use it to see that these people have physical athletic talent. Another wideout to watch for is Brian Johnson Jr. What's his name? McCarthy looked good, and McCaffrey looked good too. David says Todd McShays would get his job back on ESPN about his DJ comment after the Giants drafted him. Hey, Big Don, can I chime in for a minute? Sure. And I'm just inviting Big Don right now, guys. Blake getting down there. Welcome to
Draft, baby.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I'm a little late. Zach Texas, do you think Darius Slayton and the number 2 wide receiver on a good team, and for a 5th round pick, we can get a decent production? Yeah, I like Slayton. I think you still got to keep Slayton. You're eating roots. Yes, I'm eating roots. I am literally eating roots. We had something yesterday. I don't remember what it was, but she chopped it up, and it looked like French fries. But it didn't taste like French fries. Frankie says, almost bought the gig one and figured out God wants to punish me with another Giants rebuild. I love, here we go. For instance, Brazilian butt lift. I love it. What exact type of, I'm on a API diet. AIP. I'm not going to get into it, but the house is on the diet. I'm not on the diet. I'm joined in the house. I've joined into the house to join into this wonderful diet. Is it sustainable? Let's put it this way. I'm not supposed to drink coffee on this diet. But the dietitian said, if you can do like 85% of the diet, yeah. And I still drink my coffee because I'm not, that's the one thing I'm not going to give up. Chris says, if we were smart enough to not draft McCarthy at 6, he doesn't get past the Falcons or Broncos. Hey, listen, if we're smart enough not to draft him at 6 and he goes there, I'm very happy. Pull the trigger on a trade for Fields. I agree. Big Blue Kickoff is the Giants' official Giants media account. Oh, okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Took me a little time to get there. After all the rumors in the past couple of days, what do you think we do in the draft? I have no idea. I really don't. I see a lot of people who are already up to mock draft 47. In this mock draft 47, I'm going to have a couple people that I'm going to pick up. I see some eyes. And he's driving again.
No, I'm not driving this time. I'm not driving. See, I'm stationary.
You're not driving this time. Like, Don, you scare the hell out of me when you drive, man.
I'm stationary. I knew you were gonna do that to me.
I was gonna yell at your ass for driving again. Safety first.
I'm in Texas. I got California drivers around me. I'll never be safe. So
you know where the stage in bloom is like? And it's like perfume. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie skies are wide and high. Deep in the heart of Texas.
They sing that proudly down here too. The Cowboy fans don't, but they do sing that proudly here.
I got a lot of friends in Texas.
Well, it's funny. Actually, when you were talking about Jerry Rice and his 40 time,
yeah,
I remember somebody was doing a study on him, and they said his first step was almost as fast as a bolt of lightning. Which makes sense because in a defensive back's position, if you get one step on him to the side, you're gone.
You're gone. That's the same problem that Jalen Hyatt had. Jalen Hyatt couldn't get that first step around. He got knocked off his routes by bigger defenders. And he may have the speed, but if you don't have the quickness to get around some, that's what I worry about Worthy. Yeah, you got 4.21 speed you run at the combine, but can you have that first step inside speed to get around the defender?
I mean, they can always call Ocho Cinco and get some boxing classes to learn how to use them feet and hands because you're a wide receiver. Fall, something, skip, say, I got touched. You have all the advantages in the world.
Yep.
Matter of fact, stack the stack the receivers. Stack them. If you are getting jammed, stack your receivers. Like there's too many ways to get wide receivers open. It's ridiculous.
Well, people forget that going back to the starting in the 60s to like the mid 90s, there was the 5-yard rule in the NFL where you could basically, as a defender, mug a guy as long as it was in that 5-yard zone. You ask the like of Mike Haynes and Mark Haynes and Lester Hayes and people like that. They used to literally just, I've always said it. You could take a metal pipe, hit someone on the knees, push them off the line, drive to their house, kick their dog, go sleep with their wife, eat all their groceries, and you still wouldn't get a flag. Now you blame
within
and it's 15 yards.
Oh my gosh. Oh, how about the accidental contact? Oh, I love that one. Oh, looks like their feet got tangled. Flag. They're both looking at the ball. Like it sucks, but I don't even know anymore. No. Here's the killer on that one. As many rules as we have to protect the quarterback, right? All these rules, you even sneeze on them. How our quarterback get hit so goddamn much and no goddamn flags? That tells me he doing it himself, because there ain't no way at this time that you can hit that much in the backfield and don't get the call. So obviously the refs are like, oh, he's running in. He's running into these hits at this point.
At this point in time, we're just in a bad area. We're just in a bad spot. So you wanted to jump on, so I want to make sure that you get out what you need to get out, because evidently you look like you got something to say.
Well, Tim, I always have something to say, Tim.
You got this smirk today, like you got something to say.
Oh, I got some good stuff. Check this out, Tim. I've got it. I've got it all figured out. Right. Okay. I know how we can. I've got the draft figured out in my head. Right. We're good. I got this. Check this out. So this is my GM hat. So Shane goes and parties the night before the draft. Right. Just gets plastered. Right. Just something happens and he passes out. Right. Oh no. Who's gonna do the draft for us, right? It's gonna be the owner, Mara. He's gonna come out there looking all spiffy and he's gonna say, you know what? I want a quarterback. And he's gonna get JJ McCarthy. That's what's gonna happen, Tim, because everybody wants him. That's the only way that's gonna happen. And I'm tired of people saying that. That's the only way we're gonna get McCarthy, if not him. What's the kid from North Carolina? The more athletic DJ?
Drake May.
You know I've seen Drake May play because I'm a Syracuse fan, and I'm sorry, Tim. He don't impress me. Like he doesn't. Doesn't impress me.
I think he is a more athletic Daniel Jones. I think he's got a bigger arm than Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah.
I think that his intangibles may, like I said, I would take Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Penix over Daniel Jones right now.
Oh, that's
a rookie, I would start any of those guys.
Whew, well, as long as our offensive coordinator knows how to use them, I think that would work out.
Well, we're gonna have to get a new offensive coordinator for that to work out.
Gosh, Tim, we're just in limbo right now. I haven't been this baffled literally since 2015, where I'm like, okay, is Eli gone? If he is going to be gone, what are we going to do with this situation? Okay, well, we got a good draft. Yes. Wait, what happened? Oh, the Cowboys are sucking. Nope, they got better again. Oh, the Redskins are sucking. Oh, they got better again. Oh, it's the Eagles. They won't do anything. They'll just go to an NFC Championship game. Wait, is that a Super Bowl? Is that a Super Bowl win? We're just in limbo here. Like, it's gotten to a point, Tim, where Tom Brady goes, crap, the Giants beat me twice. I need to go somewhere else. He goes to Tampa and wins one. I'm tired of this, Tim. I'm really getting tired of being. We're even below the mid area right now of how bad we are. We're too good to suck, but we suck too good to suck. Like that's the worst place to be. That's so true. That's the worst place to be, is in the middle of the draft every year, or your team. Like I'll say it this way, Tim. Like last year, I remember like you yesterday. You said, I don't care about the record. I was with you. I don't care about the record.
Hold on, Don, just 1 second. Don, this is not for you, okay?
Okay. Look who it is. Oh no, it's Rob. No.
It's me, baby, in the flesh.
Rob.
Man, he's going like this at me. So I'm like,
In the flesh, baby.
that's why I was like, I couldn't do it to you, Don. I had to make sure you understood where this was coming from.
Tim, I feel like a reverse Oreo right now. What's going on here?
But watch this. You ready for this? Watch this. Oh. I got it figured out now, man.
Now it's the black and white Oreo. You know, the one they have the vanilla and the chocolate.
When it falls off the top, you get the two cookies.
No, they have them now. They have the vanilla and the chocolate Oreo where the bottom is.
Oh, he's right.
That's
They do.
That's right. I did.
Hey, no problem, y'all. I'll be your cream filling. Pause.
Pause.
That's what she said.
But yeah, I remember like it was yesterday because I agreed with you. You were like, I don't care about the record long as the team gets better.
Right.
And the team wasn't getting better. So it's like I said, the 3 wins. Okay, cool. We had a little hippity hop. Everybody's talking about Tommy Cutlets. You know I know about Tommy Cutlets. He was at SU. You know I seen that guy play. And I was not impressed. I was like, what do you do? I was doing this.
Right.
Tommy Cut 3 wins. Autographs everywhere. He's our next quarterback. And I'm sitting here like, dang, this reminds me of a certain Georgia quarterback we signed. What was it, last year? Not last season, but the season before, who couldn't throw over 10 yards, but he had the moxie.
Jake Fromm.
I wasn't trying to say his name.
I meant to mute my mic and I just couldn't get to it.
Wait a minute.
All the moxie.
I forgot Rob's here. 1, 2, 3.
Do the monkey with me.
Hold on. Now we gotta go to the big Rob. We got big Rob. Oh, zero B stopping in on the chat, and he's because he's sassy. Because you want to know
I'm pretty.
Can't wait till we get to the part.
Do the monkey with me. Come on. Hey there, baby.
Hey there, baby. Guess what, baby? We're drafting a quarterback.
I just love it because sometimes people in the chat don't get the show because I had someone the other day DM me on Twitter and goes, you know, sometimes you go off on these tangents with people and you just seem like they're just doing the show for you. Well, duh.
It's your show.
No shit, Sherlock.
Really? I love that. And I loved it because the guy was so serious about it. He kept DMing me back. I'm like, it's like, are you being
You must have been a straight A student in school. Teacher never got over on you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. Terrible.
And we know you watch Tommy play. We know you watch Big Tom.
I remember his friend. Well, I remember it was what they did was it was a two quarterback system. They had him and Dungy come in, and when they needed a deep ball, they would put Tommy out there. But I mean, he threw some beautiful balls his freshman year. But after that, it was against North Carolina too. I remember, beautiful. But then I don't know what happened. Either he got the yips and he forgot totally how to throw the deep ball completely, or it was just a fluke that he could do that. Because once again, we play in a dome, so that helps a lot. Which our quarterback needs to be in apparently is a dome to play. So I don't know. Let's see, Minnesota would have been perfect for him. What's that other team that plays in the North? The Detroit Lions.
Time out. Zach,
we're gonna get this. No, wait. We're just gonna leave that up.
Zach, where do you come up with this bullshit, bro? I just got here.
Don't pick on Zach.
I just got here.
Brown.
Listen, I don't even know who this guy. If you would have brought up Bobby Johnson, I'd be okay. No problem. Who the fuck is Neil Brown?
He even paid money for that. He even paid money to let us know. That's funny.
You know what's funny about Tommy DeVito? He couldn't cut it at Syracuse, and he had to go to a real university and play.
Yeah, I'm like, Illinois? I'm like, really? I think he threw. I remember I kept watching him play, and I'm sorry to say this, folks. Or close your ears, DJ lovers. It reminded me of DJ whenever he threw for less than 200 yards. All those games under 200 yards passing, and I'm like, Our starting quarterback does that. That's crazy. Under 200 yards. The sports books had plus money over 200 yards passing on certain times. That's how bad it is. That the sports book said, if he throws over 200 yards, we'll give you money. Come on now.
There's something.
I'm sorry.
Don, do you have anything else to add? Because I do want to talk to Rob for a couple minutes because I got
that was it. That was it. I'll probably see you again before the draft because I got that day off and I'll make sure I look pretty for y'all like I did last year. Super chat.
Because we got a lot. Like I said, you guys are gonna have to hold down the fort again. I will be at the stadium with.
It's going to be an important one this year, boys.
It's going to be.
Oh gosh,
it's going to
be an important one.
But let me.
All right, y'all take it easy.
Appreciate you as always, man. I'll talk to you later. I want to talk to Rob for a few minutes, but I also want to Rob before I get to any of these. I want to get to a couple of these people that have been waiting here real quick. Just going to burn through some of these comments here. Chris says open wide receivers won't help us if DJ is our quarterback. Andre Little says all the Giants have to do is put Hyatt in motion to get him off the line. Giants creativity blows, but the problem is this, Andre, and I know you know it. You can't just put him in motion every time. Because defenses are smart enough to go, oh, Hyatt's in motion. The Giants are passing. So yeah. But he's got to learn to get off the line. He really does. I mean, that's just the way it is. Matthew said Mara is gonna draft a quarterback himself. He might do that. You never know. We are still waiting for the Willis train to come into the station.
Gentlemen,
No. I'm not super.
I don't know where
He'll find it eventually.
I don't know what's out of it. You know what's funny? You know what's what I thought was interesting. I watch Google Trends for keywords, and this is really weird, Rob. Malik Willis and Giants at one point in time under Giants was one of the top 4 keyword searches. I was like, well, that's just it's a weird anomaly. I don't know what's wrong with people. Ohio, what's up, Ohio Hurricane? What's up, Tim? I'd rather have the top 5 or 6 quarterback in the draft instead of Danny checkdowns. I don't know who is Neil Brown for offensive coordinator.
I have no fucking idea who that is.
I don't know who that is either. Oh, Neil Brown is the head coach of West Virginia. I thought you knew that since you love 00. So you love what's his name? Marijuana Daniels, and I think we are where we are. Must be nice to inherit a franchise. So what's up, Big Rob? I caught up on the chat.
What's up, baby?
I rolled through it. I keep for those that don't know who Big Rob R0B is, just go to any Twitter space for the Giants,
or you just go to on X, and more than likely I'm like bitching at somebody on the timeline, and
or you're going to get banned soon. I see.
Am I?
Yeah, well, I saw the bet or whatever, all the things that you were here to.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's fine with me.
Or whatever it is. I'm like, oh God, he's not doing.
Listen, if the ban results in a ban, but we take a quarterback, it was well worth it. Which I think we are going to be getting one.
I love this though. Zach said, "Sorry, Tim. Tim told me to mess with you." Zach, if I told you to mess with him, I would tell you I'll do a lot better than that.
Yeah, come on. That I know for sure.
You should have went Bobby Johnson.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you would have said something about Bobby Johnson, I would have definitely thought Tim had something to do with it 100%.
So what's up? You evidently had something to talk about that you want.
No, I just jumped in. I saw you were live, and I jumped in, say hello, and you're
normally working.
Yeah, well, no, I normally not on Sundays. I'm off on Sundays, but I normally have to donate and stuff like that. But I did it like super early this morning, which was nice. And getting ready to go to my son's basketball game. He's got his state championships today. So if he wins his first game, we'll play a second game. If not, then if they lose, then we're heading home. But yeah, man, like I was really,
before you get into that, hit the like button because we're at 85. If we don't hit 100, Rob's son will lose. And do you really want to be the reason that Rob's son loses his championship game or going into the championship? Do you really want to be that reason? Do you want to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am the one that cost R0B's son the championship because I didn't know I'd hit the like button?
Depends on who you're asking.
I am ashamed of you. So did you watch any of the combine?
Yeah, man. I watched a little bit of the D linebackers. Chop Robinson really showed up the first day. Fisk really showed up the first day. Sweat. I liked what Dorless had to do. Dorless did some nice things. And then I didn't really watch like the tight ends and the corners. Didn't really watch on Friday. Saturday, definitely was looking at it, paying attention. Wide receivers. I mean, Xavier Worthy breaking the record.
Worthy breaking the record at 4.21, breaking John Ross's 4.22 record. Was there any other wide receivers that stood out? And I'm not talking just off the 40. You had the shuttle drills, you had the cone drills, and I talked about this briefly. I don't know if you're on for this. That some of the bad throws that people were accumulating to some of the quarterbacks weren't actual quarterback drills. They were wide receiver drills.
Wide receiver drills, yeah.
And that's basically seeing them step in the bucket and make, and pivot off to the side. So a lot of people blame the wide receivers. I mean, the quarterbacks, but that was wide receiver drills. But were there any other wide receivers out there that really kind of stood out for you?
Yeah.
Outside of the 40.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Leggett, man, out of South Carolina. I like those big physical guys. It reminds me a lot of Jonathan Mingo, from last year, who I was hoping the Giants would get, in the second or third round if he was available. I think he was taking like just a few picks ahead of us in the second round, I think, but to Carolina before we got an opportunity to pick. So Leggett is somebody that I like. Mitchell is another guy I like fast, strong hands. When he was running the drills, it just seemed effortless. He's got very, very soft hands, secures the catch. So I like him. I definitely think that he could potentially be, a wide receiver 1 or work his way into that. He's got good size, good speed, good hands, good body control. Same thing with Leggett. And so those are the guys that really stood out to me. Quarterback.
What about Brian Thomas Jr.?
Brian Thomas,
he ran a 4.33. He had one of the best vertical leaps. I think at 38 and a half. I think it was. To me, he was, if you want to look at an overall standout at 6'3", 209 pounds, I know he had a huge broad jump. I know he had a big jump. And like I said, he had 6'3". He ran a 4.33.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. The only real reason why I didn't bring him up is because I feel like he's probably going to go in the first round. I could see maybe Kansas City taking a shot at him. Although now with Xavier Worthy and seeing Mahomes' reaction, to his 40 time and everything like that, I think it's either going to be him or Thomas possibly going to Kansas City. Could be Baltimore. Baltimore, may look at another wide receiver. I'm sure, either one of those guys would go great in Baltimore with Lamar. So, but I think those guys, I think Worthy and Thomas are borderline, first round picks. So unless Joe Shane likes them and says, hey, I want to move back in, this is if we don't move up and we still have our second round picks. If you want to package a couple of picks, move up, to the back end of the first round, because one of these wide receivers that you like are dropping, I'm all for it. I'm all for doing that at the back end of the first round. But if we're moving up, chances are we're probably going to lose one of those second round picks. And it's going to lessen our opportunity to move up. So we'll probably be picking the best receiver in the second round.
Now, one of the receivers that I like who's going to fall a little bit, people are saying, because of his 40 time, which was a 4.61, was Keenan Coleman. But we also mentioned the fact that Jerry Rice ran a 4.71, but everyone's also missing that he had an over 38-inch vertical leap. He was 10.7 on the broad. He had other intangibles, but and I don't know, maybe is it more of the fan base that kind of just hangs everything on that 40 time. We don't look at the other intangibles, that the other things, the other drills, and maybe it's because they focus more on the 40 that these guys did. And like I said, I think that in some regards, someone like Coleman may fall in the fans' eyes, but if you take a look at the other intangibles, he had a very good pro day outside of his 40.
Yeah, Keon Coleman, I think, is a good prospect. I don't necessarily, and I could be wrong on this, I don't know if I view him as a number one guy. I think that he has very, very good high upside. I think he's got I'll say this, I think he has a better opportunity or a better upside to become a number one than, say, Jalen Hyatt did last year. However, everybody was saying that he might be, our number one wide receiver. But I also think that he could be a better number 2 as far as performance wise, like what we're saying Jalen Hyatt could be is a number 2 now. Like now people are saying, Jalen Hyatt could be a solid number 2 in this league. Potentially, with his upside.
He didn't show it.
he didn't show it, but people are saying now, like, because look, the thing about Jalen, really quick, is he did beat a lot of one-on-one coverages last year. He had 40 targets, only like 22, 23 receptions, but I did see him at times beating one-on-one coverages, like in the, in the Raiders game. He was overthrown twice by Daniel Jones, but he beat that coverage. Like he got open. And there was a lot of periodically at times where he was getting open. He just wasn't getting thrown the ball or it was overthrown.
Well, there's numerous videos circulating around recently of plays on Twitter. So you've probably seen them on plays that Daniel Jones had designated shots, deep shots that he didn't even look that way.
Yep.
And again, that's going to be what's called. That's going to be it's going to be what it is.
Exactly. And I think that's why I think a lot of people are a little bit backing off off of Jalen because of the production that he had, but there was a lot of missed plays. Like he was missed a lot. So I see there, some opportunity. And, if he can get a quarterback that can see that, take those whole shots, I definitely think that he's going to be a good number 2 in this league. And hopefully somebody takes a shot, but I like Keenan Coleman. I think he would be good. I am more leaning towards Xavier Legette, and I like those bigger physical, like for me, if quarterback was an issue, Malik Neighbors would be 100% the type of guy I want. Big, physical, has speed, can make plays, like just that big physical guy. Like I like those types. That's why I like Jonathan Mingo. I'm a big fan of DK Metcalf. I like those big physical wide receivers that can make plays. And Xavier Legette seems like one of those guys. Hopefully we might be able to get him. Hopefully the Giants even look at him and they like him. If they like Jonathan Mingo last year, which there were reports that they did like Jonathan Mingo last year and they were looking at him, I wouldn't assume why they wouldn't be looking at Xavier Legette if he was dropping and whatnot. So we'll see how that goes. But I was also impressed with the quarterbacks yesterday too. Rattler, made some nice passes, a lot of overthrows too by some of the like Austin Reed, Slovis. Even Rattler led a couple of. Penix looked good. He made some nice throws. JJ McCarthy looked phenomenal yesterday. Really made a lot of nice throws. Really showed off his arm strength. And I know a little bit of a knock on him was, does he have the arm strength? Can he throw the ball down the field? He threw 2 for 60 plus yards, I think. They were overthrown, but then again, like I think it was Daniel Jeremiah said, you don't have any type of, repetition with these guys. So you don't know what these guys are. You know how fast they are. Right. Like you're throwing to these guys the first time. So you've got no familiarity with these guys. So, but I thought JJ showed up really, really well yesterday. I'm sure Bo Nix looked like he had an okay day. I'm not really a fan. Don't really care for Bo Nix to bring him in. But JJ, and for JJ, I don't mind if the Giants draft JJ. But what I'm hoping is that JJ stock, and for what it sounds like in the word that's being put out there, is he went from, Louis Riddick saying he's been told by numerous amount of people that he's a top 5, like he's going to go in the top 5. And then I think somebody said, I think it was Ian Rappaport, something said, don't be surprised. I'm hearing top 3 for JJ McCarthy. And that would be great because
Daniels will fall.
Because, well, I don't want Jaden Daniels, but I think it's going to go Caleb 1, Jaden Daniels 2 to the Commanders, unless Jaden does something where the Bears and the Commanders switch picks. I don't see Jaden going 1, just because I think optic wise, Caleb is going to go 1 regardless, just because of his just all the hype with him. I think it would be pretty. Not fucked up, but I think it'd be kind of weird if Jaden Daniels went 1 to Chicago and then Caleb went 2. Not that that couldn't happen, but that's
I think NFL teams don't care about optics. NFL teams care about
probably, no. Yeah, they probably don't.
The Bears don't. I mean, the Bears, if they think they could get, if Jaden's their guy and they know Washington wants Williams, yeah, I could see them swapping picks. But if Jaden is true, if like I said, if Jaden's the guy of the Bears, I mean, we've seen quarterbacks take a serendipitous fall, and we've seen some quarterbacks, just kind of drop off the planet. You had one point in time people thinking Aaron Rodgers was going to go higher than Alex Smith. And Alex Smith went first overall, and Aaron Rodgers falls into the 20s.
Yeah.
Now the same thing with people like Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn, bad career, but he was going to be a top 5, top 10 pick, and he fell all the way down to the bottom of the draft.
It was like 24. I think they traded back. The Browns traded back into the first.
Yeah, we're jumping back again. So you don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't think they care. But like I said, I think you want your guy, you go get your guy. And if Jaden's their guy, that's what the Bears are going to go. But I think you are right. If they do potentially feel they can grab some assets, even if it's just having Washington move up one spot, yeah, hell, I would do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with the JJ hype, I'm hoping, and I have a feeling it's going to be New England that takes JJ at number 3. I think for me, when you listen to him and you talk to him, he kind of talks like he's got that Patriot way mentality. I don't care about statistics. I care about winning. And I think that's what Gerard Mayo is going to implement. They want to win. And so from Michigan, right? They took another great quarterback who 199, that went to Michigan in Tom Brady. I think that him and Tom Brady have a little bit of a relationship. At least I thought I read that somewhere. And I could just see JJ going to New England and them running kind of like a similar type of system, because they really don't have a lot of weapons in the wide receiver room, which is something that JJ is familiar with. They didn't really have like top tier guys at the wide receiver position in Michigan, but they were able to run the ball with Blake Corum, and they played really, really good defense. And I feel like that's something that New England is probably going to try to emphasize with Stevenson running the football, have a good running game, make some plays in the passing game off the running game. And they're just going to try to play solid, sound defense. And I think
Mayo is a defensive guy. I mean,
he is. Yeah. So I think that kind of fits what JJ did and what he can do. And then I think he could do more. And then I think at that point, that leaves Drake May to drop. And then at that point, I think the Giants trade up to 4 and take Drake May at 4 and swap with Arizona.
I mean, I could see that happening, but I don't think Arizona wants to fall out of the top 10, because Arizona needs offensive linemen and a wide receiver, and they would
be going from 4 to 6.
Well, I'm just saying, I know, but my theory is, this is my theory. I don't think they want to drop out of the top 10 of the draft. So unless there's going to be a team within the top 10 that want to trade up to 4, why would you go and then make that trade? Because a quarterback's not going both 4 or 5.
Yeah, correct.
Arizona needs a wide receiver and they need an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think that the 6th spot is
already killed if they don't get an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think that they made it very clear that pick is up for sale when they made the poster for Kyler Murray, our franchise guy. They could very well stick there and take Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4, right? They could very well stick there. And then you got to try to work a deal out with the Chargers to move up one spot. I think it'd be kind of funny if that happened. Wouldn't be the first time we had to make a trade with the Chargers to get a franchise quarterback. And it's like 20 years later or something like that. That the irony, literally 20 years later, 2 decades, we're trading with the same team to get our next franchise quarterback.
They always say irony is pretty ironic. But for those that do not know, we're stuck at 88 likes, and Rob's son's got to go play these championship basketball games today. And if we don't hit 100 likes, they're going to lose. And I always said it.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
He's on the phone right now with the coaching staff, Rob, is in reference to this game. So make sure you hit that like button. Get us up to 100 likes. We got, let's see here. Strider says, I love Jaden Daniels. I hope we get him, but we have to trade at least up to the 3rd spot. If we're staying at 6, I won't. LSU wide receiver. I agree. Big L Gigantic says, Leggett reminds me of DJ Metcalf. Yeah, I kind of see that. Arch says, if there's a number 1 wide receiver run, Leggett would be a great pick for us in the 2nd round. I think there's going to be a lot of wide receivers. This is a deep draft in wide receivers. As this draft is not stacked for running backs, the quality of the running back position is high in this draft in reference to, I think, you getting a 2nd-day starter. But I think wide receiver, I think this is, you always have one position like this is the wide receiver draft. I think this is the wide receiver draft. Let's see here. Strider also says, I don't want JJ McCarthy 1st round, not even trading down the 1st round to get him. I don't want JJ McCarthy. I can't make that mistake. If you're going to grab JJ McCarthy that early, I don't know if the intangibles are that there to take him in the top 10. If the draft, let's see, Strider says, if the draft him not ready, he did okay with Michigan, but he had a great offensive line and defense. Yeah, he had a great offensive line and defense and a great running game. I think I could potentially develop into a good quarterback if I had those tangibles. JJ is a good quarterback. JJ is going to sit on the bench. Who are we going to play if he sits on the bench? So which quarterback falls to the Giants? I keep saying, after watching Penix, like I said, my wife watched the combine and even said that guy throws the best out of everybody. If you're looking at the most pro-ready quarterback right now, it's going to be Williams and Penix. Because of the injury history, I don't know if I can take him at 6. But like I said, if you're looking for a guy that is pro-ready, if you're looking for a guy that can make all the throws, and we said make all the throws on Sunday, he's the guy. We're at 93 likes. We need 7 more likes so Rob's son wins. So make sure you get that like in. Frankie S says, JJ is getting crushed when defense backs have a party on just watching his eyes. Are you done with the phone call?
I'm on FaceTime. My wife doesn't know how to unlock a door.
Oh, that's okay. I'm getting text messages that we got a snake by the back door. So I gotta go kill a snake. It's just another day living in the middle of nowhere. Strider says, Tim, I wouldn't mind drafting the wide receiver from LSU at 6. I agree. I would take him at 6. No quarterback for the Giants. We need an offensive line. Trade down to 6. My only problem was with the offensive linemen, the Giants are probably going to like both of them are left tackles. And we've said it before in the beginning of the stream. You took a college left tackle, and moved him to right tackle. Then you're going to ask that college left tackle to play right guard. And then you're going to take a college left tackle and then move him to right tackle and then combine that with an undersized center in JMS. That's not a good look. On the right, that's not a good one.
Yeah,
on the side.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing why comments like what Frankie just said like irritate me is, no QBs because you don't feel confident with the QBs at 6, whether it's JJ, Penix, whatever. But you want to take 3 offensive linemen in 5 years in the top 10. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. 100%.
I think. Yeah, I mean, the problem is you got to go by the theory that one day someone was going to hit, and you hit with Andrew Thomas.
Hold on a second. So we want to draft a guy that had his leg torn off over JJ McCarthy, Florida State University, the guy that broke his
Jordan. No, yeah, we're gonna get. Don't jump ahead. I was gonna get there. No, we're not.
Why does everybody hate JJ? What's wrong with JJ McCarthy?
You want to know what's wrong with JJ McCarthy?
Nothing.
Let me tell you what's wrong with JJ McCarthy.
Absolutely nothing.
Let me tell you what's wrong with JJ McCarthy. 659 passes in 3 years, a run-centric offense that is built around the running game, a good defense, and a head coach in Jim Harbaugh. He wasn't asked to do the same things that Williams and Penix were both do. He wasn't asked on multiple occasions to actually carry the team. He was asked to be a part of the team, which is not his fault. He even talks about the fact that, he's not in for stats, statistics, he's in on winning. But the problem is this: unless you are going to go to a team that's got a good running game, unless you're going to go to a team that's got a good defense, and I don't think you can rely on the complete athletic talent and ability of JJ McCarthy, because we don't know what he is, because of the fact that in 3 years he's only thrown 659 passes and he was not asked to carry Michigan.
Yeah, but I think that the thing is like he wasn't asked to carry Michigan because I don't think he wasn't capable. I think he wasn't asked to carry Michigan because that's just what Jim Harbaugh was doing.
But that's what I'm saying. But here's the thing: you can't tell me he is capable, because to your point, we don't know if he's capable because that's not what he was asked to do. And that's what I'm saying. There is an unknown variable with JJ McCarthy because of the fact that Caleb Williams, after he lost Jordan Addison, after his offensive line went to shit, he was still asked to do the same things and be the offense at USC. Michael Penix was the same way in Washington. Washington doesn't go anywhere without Michael Penix doing what Michael Penix does in the passing game. Those guys showed that they can carry a college offense. That's what you got to preference to that. It's a college offense. JJ McCarthy wasn't asked to do this, and it's not JJ McCarthy's fault. But there is an unknown of what JJ McCarthy can do because of the fact that he wasn't asked to do it. It's not, like I said, it's not his fault.
Yeah, I mean, the only pushback that I'm going to give there is that one, when you look at Michael Penix, has the capabilities of doing that, but he also had, Jalen Polk, he had Roma Dunze, like he had some good weapons there, and he's able to go ahead and do that with USC. Like I don't think that they changed the way that they were doing it because they had the worst defense in college football. They didn't really have much weapons other than Brendan Rice. And yeah, I mean, that team having any form of success was solely on Caleb Williams. I'm not going to knock JJ for not doing it because Michigan had probably the best defense in college football. I'm not
knocking him for.
No, I'm not saying you are. No, I'm not saying you are.
What I'm saying is, we said Dwayne Haskins, RIP. Great one season wonder in Ohio State. I didn't like him. I got called a racist because I said I wouldn't draft him because I pointed out multitudes of things, but he had a big season. He carried the team at USC. At Ohio State. But Ohio State again had a good running game. They had a good defense, but he was asked to throw the ball quite extensively. Comes in the pro, flames out. Even though he had the body of work that one season in college. The JJ McCarthy is the unknown because of the fact that he has nothing beyond being, I don't want to say a game manager because I don't think that's a bad term. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing to call someone a game manager because Phil Simms was a game manager. Eli Manning at times was a game manager. But he wasn't asked to do those things. So you can't with a certainty say, okay, his body of work shows that he can carry a team outside. And that's kind of what happened with Daniel Jones at 6 back in 19. Daniel Jones, never carried a team at Duke, never showed anything at Duke, but we still took him on the hopes and the prospect that he was going to grow into his ability and have the ability to carry the team. Rob's taking a break. I'm going to have to leave pretty soon anyways, guys. I'm just trying to get to 100 likes because I'm not going to lie.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
I'm a little stitious. So we got to get to 100 likes.
I had to fucking go and unlock a door. Sorry.
Because if Rob's son loses and it's because we don't have 100 likes, then I'm going to feel horrible. so we're stuck at 97. So let's get that 100 likes. So Rob's son's team can win. And we can go from there. Ron Juan says all these Giant fans wanting offensive linemen with the first pick is because they want to build a team around Daniel Jones. Arg. Frankie says JJ is a game manager. Period. I don't know if he's a game manager. That's the thing. I don't know because if you're not asked to do something, you don't know if you can do it. You don't know if the person can do it if he's not asked to do it. I don't blame JJ for not being being the guy. We're at 101. Your son's gonna win.
Hey Frankie, let me ask you a question. Well, let me make a statement to you. I don't think that you could put together a puzzle. And that's because I've never seen you do it.
Be nice to Frankie, yes.
No. I'm saying I don't think
nice.
I don't think that you could put together a puzzle because I've never seen you put together a puzzle. Does that mean that you can't put together a puzzle? No.
Is it a 1,000-piece puzzle?
Oh, you know my fucking point.
No, but this
doesn't matter the piece.
No, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Consider this. To me, 100-piece puzzle is like being a game manager because you have a good offense and that you have a good running game and a good defense. Am I putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle? Because that means I'm not a game manager. I'm in this for the long haul, and this is more difficult to do because I'm asked to do more.
Look,
you didn't see that one coming, did you?
No. Listen, at the end of the day, I understand what people are saying about JJ McCarthy, but the guy can play the quarterback position. And yes, he wasn't asked to do a lot in Michigan, but that was because I don't think that had anything to do with his inability to do it. So look, he's going to go to a team and we're going to see what he's capable of doing. But there have been numerous amounts of players that have come out and say, oh, I don't think that they could do it at this level because they didn't do it in college.
Name me a quarterback outside of someone like Tom Brady that didn't have, it doesn't have to be substantial college numbers, but didn't have, above average college numbers that just name me a couple.
I mean, Drew Brees didn't really have great statistics in college. And the first couple of years that he was with the Chargers, he didn't really have, it wasn't putting up numbers like he was putting up with New Orleans. After he got to New Orleans, he became, you can make an argument he's like in the top 5 for quarterbacks, or at least he was in the top 3 for the time that he was playing. You're
going to go with Drew Brees.
I'm just naming a guy. You asked me to name a guy.
Drew Brees threw for over almost 11,000 yards in college, 81 touchdowns, 41 interceptions. Had 3 seasons in a row of over almost 3,700 yards, averaged at least 28 touchdowns, completed over 60% of his passes, and that was back in the early 90s and 2000s. So that actually doesn't hold water. So you have to give me another one. Those were actually from 97 to 2000. Those are extremely good college stats. I remember him as a Boilermaker too. He put up numbers.
I mean, so then again, we're just going off the fact that name me a guy that has stats that's gonna project into the NFL.
No, but I'm just saying
you're making that argument because he hasn't put up the stats he won't.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're making the argument that he'll be fine even though he wasn't asked to do much in college. I'm not arguing with you. I'm asking you to tell me some other quarterbacks that have similar stats to JJ McCarthy, only 659 passes in 3 years, who came into the NFL and lit it on fire.
I understand what you're asking me, but
it's not a trick question.
I understand what you're asking me, but the one, I don't know anybody. 2, if let's just go off the premises that I don't know anybody, you're making the reverse argument when you're not trying to make the reverse argument. Saying that a guy that's coming into the league that hasn't done that or hasn't put up those numbers or shown that they can produce numbers in college very rarely come in and all of a sudden start producing high velocity numbers. Like what I'm saying is I'm not going to say the guy can't because he was in a unique situation where he wasn't asked to do it.
But
so we don't know.
There are plenty of quarterbacks that weren't asked to do these things in college. I'm just asking you to name a couple that came in and were phenomenal.
And I don't know any off the top of my head.
I mean, people say Brock Purdy because he went to Iowa State, but Brock Purdy still threw for over 12,000 yards, 80 something touchdowns, and only 30 interceptions in 4 years. So Brock Purdy, even though he wasn't at the highest competition level and wasn't asked to truly carry the team at Ohio State, still threw the ball 1,467 times. So I'm not trying to get an argument here. I'm just looking for names. Like someone said, Daniel Jones. I gotta go.
I'm just reading the chat here.
I know. I gotta go.
This whole started with me asking Frankie about to do a puzzle, and it's clearly he's a Daniel Jones lover. So
actually, he's not.
He is.
He's no, Frankie's been on the show quite a bit. Made by the Giants 24 says 2042 DJ fans, we still need to know what we have. Arch says nobody likes Bo Nix. Yes, he's 24, played 61 pro games with has a 43-18 record. Bo Nix had a big season last year at Oregon. Bo Nix, if you watched Oregon, Bo Nix is all the offensive Oregon figured it out that you basically make Bo Nix a one read guy. That's what they did. That's why he flamed out in Auburn and didn't have his big year until his last year in Oregon, because they figured out what they had, which there's nothing wrong with that because you play to a player's strengths. Made by Giants says, I don't know. He sounds like he would be drafting Daniel Jones too. Chris says, Rob, the issue is when you're drafting a quarterback, especially in the top 10, there needs to be at least the stats and film to suggest he can do it in the NFL level. I agree with that, and I disagree with that because I think there are, like I said, film is stats. Stats I don't agree with in some regards, because the stats are, stats can be arbitrary because it depends on the school you play at. If you play at USC and you have a loaded offense, there's a difference between someone's stats that play in Iowa State or something like that. But the film is what I suggest. I always look at, like I said, I look at the good film, I look at the bad film, because of the fact that sometimes the bad plays show more than the good plays do. All I'm saying is, like I said, I'm just saying you can't take McCarthy at 6 if you're the Giants, because it smells like a Daniel Jones reach, big time.
I don't agree with that.
He could be a good kid. He can walk people, go walk elderly.
These five quarterbacks are better than anything that Daniel Jones has put on film at any point in time. They are it's night and day difference. They are way better than what Daniel Jones is right now. Way better. And that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, and nobody does.
But how can you say that about McCarthy when he's only thrown the ball 659 times?
I look at the fact of how he plays the position. When he was asked to pass, he knows how to read the defenses. He throws with anticipation. He takes the shots. He doesn't play scared. He can maneuver in the pocket. He can work the pocket. He can do all of that stuff.
Last question about this. There was a quarterback that was ranked 7th in the league in deep ball passes. He was 13 for 17 with 2 touchdowns, and he was ranked 7th in the league. So if you look at that statistically, he wasn't asked to do much. He wasn't asked to throw the ball much, but he was still completed 7 of 13 for 2 touchdowns on his deep ball passes, which of course was Daniel Jones 2 years ago. But the problem is this: he only was asked threw the ball 13 times. The next competitor who threw the ball was like 60. So if just because you're done something 1 or 2 times doesn't mean you can do it through the longevity of a season. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, we can make the same comparison to Tom Brady in the beginning part of his career. Tom Brady, the knock on him is that Tom Brady is a system guy. I'll never put up great big numbers, can't do it. And the first 3 Super Bowls that they won,
but you can't.
Hold on. But the first 3 Super Bowls,
I am not going to take a Tom Brady, JJ McCarthy. No, we're not going there. No, we're not going there. We are not going. We are not going there.
I'm just saying the knock on Tom in the beginning part
was Tom Brady taking it.
He was taken in the 6th round.
Okay, so we're not talking about a quarterback being taken in the 6th round. We're talking.
Listen, forget about where they were fucking drafted. My point is
where they're drafted.
I'm not going to forget. Forget about where they were
taken 199 over a guy that's going to be taken 6th. There's a difference. And for every Tom Brady, you can bring up a Brady Quinn. You can bring up anybody else. You're talking about the anomaly. You're talking about the NFL anomaly, and throwing it over and giving the name JJ McCarthy a tie to it. No, I'm not going to. There is no point. Don't even try it, because
there is a point. Okay, so you can say Joel Milton has all the talent. And then yes, you did.
I did not say Joe Milton has all the talent. No. First of all, go back and watch the video.
I did.
Not the live stream. Watch the video that I did about Joe Milton. First of all, if you're going to come up here and spew shit, make sure your shit is right, because it's not. Watch the video and see what I said about Joe Milton. I said Joe Milton has all the talent. He has all the physical tangibles. Yes, he does. Because he wouldn't be in college football if he didn't. He wouldn't be there at all. But does that translate as a quarterback into the NFL? No. But he wouldn't be at the level that he was at because of the fact that he didn't have any talent. And he put his talent on display at the combine yesterday. Is that going to make him a good quarterback in the NFL? No. Who knows? Did he throw the ball better than almost anyone besides Penix? Yeah, he did. Is that going to make?
I would say he threw it farther.
No, he actually had some if you watch the whole thing, he actually had some very nice touch. He had some very nice ability, but that doesn't mean anything against the all shorts team. So if you want to take something out of context, do it right. I was
just busting your balls.
I know that, but I'm tired of this shit because people, if you want to say something, this is my thing. You want to say something that I said, take it all in context. Don't take a portion of it, of a 25-minute conversation, and then say something else when I also made an entire video about it and then say that, because that to me shows a lack of respect. And the one thing I am big on, and I give everyone, I may bust everyone's ass and I must bust everyone's chops, but I do it out of fun.
Pause.
But no, I'm not like I bust everyone's balls because not everyone has balls.
No, pause.
Pause. I do it. I said balls. I do it but I end up doing it out of respect. And at the end of the day, I always come back and have the person on to defend their point and to defend what they're saying, instead of having people talk shit and not take the entire conversation. You and I can go back and forth for an hour and argue about shit.
Oh, of course.
But at the end of the day, I give you your respect in regard to your opinion. What happens to me with certain people, what pisses me the fuck off, and I always tell people, listen, you want to come see me? I'm in lot F8 every game. You got something you want to talk to me about, you come and talk to me in my face. You don't sit there and you do something on social media, because that makes me that makes you look like a pussy. Straight up. Because of the fact, and it could be in all fun, it could be in all jest, it could be any of that. But that makes me think you're a pussy. Straight up. Because of the fact that you don't take the entire conversation and you don't give me the respect to then turn around and talk to me about what I actually said and even did for 25 minutes beyond that and in a 25-minute video, but you take one snippet out of that. That's Bush League. That's Bush League and bullshit, and I don't stand for it. And if people don't like it, fuck off. I don't care.
Can I make my point now?
No, because of the fact that I've told people before, I don't differentiate between social media and real life. You say something to me on social media, you're saying it to me in real life. That's all I'm going to say. And I got to get going in a couple minutes. So I ran way too long today.
Well, it's because of me. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I gotta go kill a snake.
Yeah, you kill it. You kill a snake. Look, all I'm going to say is that was a knock on Tom in the beginning when he won, after he won like the first Super Bowl against the Rams. The knock after that, because then they had that losing season and he looked average, and they still played really good defense, and he really didn't do like he was clutching some moments, and he could put good performances. But the knock was he's never going to put up big time numbers. He's really good. They play great defense, blah, 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 blah. And then he started putting up great historical numbers. He had that record-breaking year when he got Moss and all them. Like he carried. He was able to do it. And that's my only thing. I'm not going to say that he can't do it. I'm not going to say he's going to do it because I don't know. But I think that he plays that position really, really well. And I think a lot of people hold the fact that he hasn't done it and say it's because he's incapable. But it wasn't because he's incapable. He wasn't asked to. And I think people have to differentiate those two things. When you go to the NFL, yeah, you're going to get asked to do things that you probably didn't. Everybody will say that. When you go to the NFL, you're going to get asked to do things that you didn't do in college. I mean, that's always going to happen. Can you adjust to it? You know, can you adapt to it? If Caleb goes to the Bears, Caleb is not going to be asked to play the same way he played in college in the pros. He may try to, but he may not have to. They have a really stout defense. They could get a really good running game, right? Like, that's the thing. There's a knock now on Drake May about all of this crap, and people have all of these reservations on Drake May, which I don't get, and think that he's like, I had somebody tell me if Drake May was there at 6, that they would take Malik Neighbors over Drake May because they don't think he's going to be very good. And I don't see that. But like, Same thing with Jaden Daniels. Like, everybody's hyped up over Jaden Daniels. He's a great prospect. But to me, it's like the guy's going to come in and he's probably going to, like, to me, he's an injury concern, in my opinion. I've seen him get lit up, take a lot of hits, trying to make plays. He's gotten lit up. He's a scrawny guy. Like, he's not like he doesn't have a good build.
But to your point, he got lit up trying to make plays. So I got to end this show because I really want to go outside and kill a snake. But let me get through some of these last chats for some people. So I don't want to make sure I miss anything. Zach Attack says, tag the argument, not the person. I agree. DJ says, let's see. Frankie says, not a DJ fan. I told you he wasn't a DJ fan. I knew Frank's not a DJ fan. Don't want to take another 10-year step back. Tim also said Milton is a developmental pick. Yeah, but nobody wants to talk about that. Tim is also a team. What is your tea you're drinking? What you're talking about? Matcha man. No, actually, I am drinking. I'm drinking some kind of shake. You want a quarterback? Trade for Detroit Hendon Hooker. Detroit's not going to give up Hendon Hooker. Why would they give? Why they're not going to give up a guy that they have control over, and he's on a low team deal. So. Because of where he was drafted. For a team trying to build an offense like the 49ers, drafting JJ makes sense. If you're trying to draft a quarterback who can take over games when things aren't going so well, then JJ is not your guy. I do agree with that. Strider says, whatever we do in free agency first depends on what we do on the draft, trade up or trade down. You're not. Yeah, that's true. Big Blue Forever says, Tim did a 20-minute video and said Joe was a developmental guy, but let's not talk about that. My son didn't make his freshman year's basketball team because that means he's about to be Michael Jordan. And Rob reposted the tweet. Yeah. I saw that too. We're not gonna get into that because
I did it for a funny reason. I thought it was funny.
I'm not getting a lot of people. You know what? I got to give credit because a lot of times I don't go on Twitter because I got a lot of stuff going on in life, so I can't spend all day on Twitter. So people send me when people do things, and I must have gotten at least 15 different DMs, and they all say your boy's retweeting this. I was like, oh. Then I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Frankie says Caleb's the only quarterback in the draft that can look off defensive backs. I think there's a lot of quarterbacks in the draft can do that. Different View says, let's go G-Men. F8, I'm here. That's my boy. Big L's always with me. Big L's always rolling the stadium with me. We're always in F8. You can't miss us. It's the large white man and the large Puerto Rican. Oh, he's not Puerto Rican. The large Dominican.
Jesus.
We are like I said, my anytime we go to the stadium, we are the group of people I go with is very eclectic. So I mean, we have a nice contingency, and we will be taking, if I renew the season tickets, we are going to have more fans. Of course, there's the Big L sitting there with the Dahmer, sitting there with my second son, the Dahmer, with Big LJ as well. All right, guys, I really got to end this show because I am really late. I want to appreciate Big Don for dropping in, everyone that was able to drop in and have this conversation in this chat. Zagatag says, now hit the like button on the way out. Archie says, good stream. Moet says, peace, guys. Good content as always. Big Chris says, the wife is waiting. Gotta go. Great stream team. Please, peace out, guys. Yep, and as always, guys, I appreciate everyone for dropping in, dropping out, dropping the big R0B coming in. What a big stream today. I'm glad everyone had a chance to stop by. Don't forget NewYorkGiantsLive.com and get ready for that tomorrow's video. You know what? I'm out of here. Peace.